it was 85 at St. Paul, 84 at South St. Paul, 81 at Lakeville, and 82 at Eden Prairie. Crystal reported 85, Blaine reported 84, and Lake Elmo reported 81. Around the state, it was mostly sunny, with a temperature of 83 at Mankato and 84 at Brainerd. It was partly sunny, with a temperature of 77 at Rochester, 83 at St. Cloud, and 78 at Duluth. It was cloudy, with a temperature of 75 at Bemidji, 74 at Hibbing, and 73 at International Falls. In Wisconsin, it was partly sunny, with a temperature of 87 at Osceola, 82 at Bay City, 84 at Eau Claire, 82 at La Crosse, and 80 at Milwaukee. Across the eastern Dakotas, skies ranged from mostly sunny to partly sunny. It was 81 at Fargo, 80 at Watertown, 84 at Huron, and 91 at Sioux Falls. In Iowa, it was mostly sunny. It was 92 at Sioux City, 85 at Mason City, and 86 at Des Moines. Once again at 3 p.m. in the Twin Cities, it was 83 degrees under partly sunny skies. This is weather radio station KEC 65 Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Alrighty, guys, what is going on? Hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful Sunday here for today. Hope you guys have been staying safe with all the crazy weather that's been going on. A lot of flooding in the southwest still going on here. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. It just looks like we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that got issued for North Carolina. You can actually see it on the bottom right-hand screen. On the latest frame there, you can actually see that polygon popped up. We're going to talk about that here in a second. So, hope you guys are doing all right. Glad to have you guys here. Let's go ahead and see who is in the chat. I know there's been a few people here. Sorry we had to push it 2 times. It's just because there's really nothing even really kicking off here across Minnesota as of right now. Storms are now trying to fire off across Minnesota, but we'll be talking about that more here in a second. Anyways, I see Grace is here. What's up? Hope you're doing good. Megan, Courtney, I see Chips is here, Christian as well, Among the Pines is here, 513 Art Dog, let's see, Eagle Horse as well, glad to have you here, Logan is here as well, Rain is here, Anna's here, let's see here, Frank is here, Mary Pool, I think I say pronounce that, Mary Pool, I think I say pronounce that, anyway, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, anyways, so let's go see, Ian is here as well, Skeleton is here as well. Hope you're doing good, my friends. Glad to have you all here. So, let's go see. Ty is also here. Andrea is here as well. Ian is here. Let's go see here. Fahrenheit 4051 is here as well. What's up? Hope you're doing all right, my friends. Glad to have you guys here for today. So, let's go ahead and just jump right on into it, my friends. So, first of all, like I said, obviously, hope y'all are doing good. Glad to have you guys here. So we have a bit of a stormy situation today across actually 2 different locations. We have a maximum of a slight risk here for today, which is at 2 out of 5 severe threat. I see Jimmy's here as well. What's up? Hope you're doing all right. So, like I said, we have a severe threat level 2 out of 5. Like I said, obviously there's a scale from 1 to 5, 5 being the worst, 1 being the lowest. We actually have a level 2 today. So, obviously that is a pretty decent threat here for severe weather. But like I said, obviously the biggest concern here, and my thing's already crashing. Anyways, well that sucks. Let's go ahead and switch on back here to my other screen then. We'll actually just take a look at the actual National Weather Service, or the actual Storm Prediction Center here. So, like I said, anywhere across the dark green and the yellow shaded colors that is listed here, you do have a chance for severe weather for today. There's actually now a third shade here across portions of southern Arizona. So, here's the thing, my friends. Severe weather is expected, and tornadoes could be possible across portions here of Minnesota for today. Along kind of the east central, southeastern side here of Minnesota could be possible. Also, as well as the far western side here of Wisconsin, does have the possibility of seeing a brief tornado. A brief spin-up could theoretically happen. Tornadoes cannot be ruled out. Although it's not the main threat, like I said, obviously they can't be ruled out, so that is something that we got to watch out for. Another possible tornado threat here for today across portions of North Carolina and southern Virginia here. That's also a 2% chance. Literally the lowest end tornado threat, but it is a possibility that a few tornadoes could happen for today. So we're just throwing it up there. It's a possibility a few tornadoes could happen today. And obviously, if there's a warning being issued, that we'll be here to cover it, guys, because that's usually what we do here. So, But anyways, let's go and see here. Hello from Duluth, Minnesota. What's up? Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here. Glad to have all of you guys here for today. Hope you guys are doing all right. So, now we move into the damaging wind category. We obviously do have a pretty decent chance of seeing some damaging winds, likely 60 miles per hour or higher for today. Obviously, the greatest chance here of seeing that damaging wind possibility is across basically the eastern side here of Minnesota as well, and along the western side here of Wisconsin yet again. So obviously, like I said, damaging winds is kind of the main concern here for today. Now, here's the thing about hail. Hail is a possibility across portions of the Midwest and the upper Midwest here for today, but there is a bit of something that did happen here. Actually, there was a 15% risk here yesterday, and they actually ended up downgrading the hail threat for today, which is obviously good news, but like I said, obviously the main concern here for today is that damaging wind possibility. Expect some possible wind damage later on today, so we'll continue watching this. Like I said, hail is possible too, and also, like I said, obviously a tornado or two cannot be ruled out. Okay, so obviously we got to keep our eyes out for all types of severe weather for today, in which that is something that we have got to watch out for. So, but anyways, let's go ahead and get this other program started back up here. I don't know what's been going on with it lately. The last few streams, it's actually decided it wants to just crash on us. I'll have to look into that here more in a moment. So, let's go ahead and switch on back to the main screen, my friends. Like I said, this is currently what is going on, so you can obviously see the outlook here overlaid. Once again, the areas in the dark green and the yellow has the severe threat for today. Now, you might be wondering, well, what's this light green say? The light green says it's a possibility you could see a shower or a few storms, but majority, they're not supposed to be severe. They're not expected to go severe, which means that, damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour is not expected. Hail the size of quarters or larger is not expected, and obviously a tornado is not really expected either. So that's kind of what the categorical outlook means here for today. And like I said, obviously that severe threat, 1 out of 5, the lowest end threat, but it is a severe threat. Remember that. Severe threats are obviously a big concern regardless of their level. In which, obviously we got to watch out for that. So there's 1 out of 5 across the dark green, and then 2 out of 5 across the area here in yellow. So the main concern we're watching out for, Minneapolis is dead smack in the center of today's risk here, stretching for portions of Interstate 94 and 35, both north, south, east, and west. So obviously, this is where we are expecting the most severe weather here for today. Now, you might notice here, just on the northwestern quadrant of that 2 out of 5 severe threat, we have a bit of storms that is ongoing here currently, kind of around, areas here of Hillman, also near Gilman, Hillman and Gilman, right across these regions. Now, these are not severe storms as of right now, but it is something we should watch out for. There's really nothing, too concerning about these storms here as of right now, but like I said, as we do track down here, later on into today, you're going to notice that these storms will increase in intensity and overall quantity. So we're going to get a lot more storms, and we're going to get a lot more intense storms starting to form as we do progress down here in time. So obviously that is something that we have got to watch out for today. And like I said, obviously all types of severe weather is possible. So we definitely got to watch out for that. Like I said, a few tornadoes cannot be ruled out for today across 2 different locations. And those locations does include areas here in Minnesota. So if you are in the states here of Minnesota and Wisconsin, this, my friends, in the dark green is actually your tornado threat here for today. This is where a few tornadoes could theoretically happen. We also do have ourselves another potential tornado risk here across portions of, portions of North Carolina and Southern Virginia here as well. Now you might notice, that's a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings. These are actually special marine warnings, special weather statements, by the way. Now we do actually have a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect here along the eastern quadrant here of North Carolina. So this does include portions here. Let's see, this is for Jacksonville, North Carolina. Directly east of Interstate 40, we are watching a pretty nasty storm here where 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts could be a possibility, as well as quarter-size hail. So obviously hail the size of quarters, or 1 inch in diameter, could be a possibility out of this storm here. So mixing between the damaging wind threat and the hail threat, there's a possibility between both of them. So obviously, it would be recommended if you are around these locations to obviously go indoors, if possible. Stay away from windows, because obviously, flying debris with some of those damaging winds, if it does end up happening, obviously, damage because of that could occur. So it'd be recommended just to stay away from windows once you're inside the house, and obviously just, just ride it out here until it's over. We also do have a special marine warning here just off on the coast. As the storm is tracking southeast, this will eventually become a problem for the boaters out there. Obviously, the localized heavier winds can cause locally higher seas because the winds pushing against the water actually creates the waves. If you guys did not know, between the tides, between like the moon, obviously the gravitational field and stuff like that. Between that and the winds, that's how waves are basically formed here. But in this case, like I said, obviously with locally higher winds causes locally higher seas. So obviously that is a concern. So then, obviously with that being a concern and capsizing of vessels, I mean, especially like sailboats. You got to think sailboats with those high profile wings or those, whatever you call those, the fins or whatever. So those actually are, like I said, if there's a lot more winds, obviously that can knock over those vessels, which is obviously not really a good thing. So, but that is kind of what we're dealing with here as of right now. We only have one active severe thunderstorm warning, but obviously look what's going on down here in the southwest. This is something I really wanted to mention across areas here near Las Vegas. I mean, we've been seeing tons and tons of rainfall across a lot of these locations. It still is ongoing. This is probably going to be continuing for the next while here. We are seeing a boatload of flash flood warnings that is in effect here. Life-threatening flash flooding is expected out of this. So obviously, any amount of rainfall across these areas here, usually year-round is relatively dry, but if you have a lot of excessive rainfall across a lot of these locations, flooding is only much worse than compared to some of these other locations. So obviously we got to watch out for the flooding potential here across the southwest, because like I said, a lot of areas here in southern Nevada, basically northwestern Arizona, and the southern, almost southeastern side of California does have a pretty big, pretty decent flooding risk here for today. So obviously flooding is ongoing here. We have a few flood warnings kind of extending across other areas here in the southwest, but not as much as what's going on in this very, very, very compacted, high density area of these flash flood warnings we are actively seeing here. So obviously we got to keep an eye on that. Obviously, some life-threatening flooding can be occurring. Now we do move down here to the south. Now you might notice what's going on down here. So there has been a bit of updates that I do want to talk about this with you guys. So obviously we have two different tropical systems that is in here in the eastern Pacific. We're watching Georgette as well as Frank. Now Frank is currently a hurricane. As you can see over this way, directly down, is currently clocking in at 80 mile per hour sustained winds, so constantly blowing at 80 miles per hour here. Now this thing is on a weakening trend here. This thing is expected to turn back down into a tropical storm potentially by later on tonight or tomorrow morning. So we are going to continue watching this here. But as of right now, it is still a hurricane, central low pressure of 983 millibars, tracking its way to the northwest, but it's going to get more of a northerly approach. Now you might notice how it's starting to get a little bit more closer to California here. There is some good news with this. Now, obviously, the good news is that this thing is likely going to weaken down a lot by the time it does reach the areas here near California. So, obviously, but further down the line, this could theoretically produce more rain across the southwest, which, obviously, what we're seeing right now is obviously not a good thing for obvious reasons here. So, we are going to keep on watching this here. Like I said, as of right now, I don't really see any major concerns out of Frank here. But, like I said, it's obviously something we need to continue watching here, something that we need to keep up to date with, as it could become a possibility here down the road. Now, then we do have Georgette here. Now, Georgette, not a concern at all. I mean, this thing's taking a weird kind of roller coaster shape here. Currently tracking to the west here. It's going to slow down here for later on tonight into tomorrow, and then shift its way up more north, and then get a big old kick to the west again. So obviously, that is kind of what we are seeing here now. This thing is relatively far away from all areas of land. We're not even really concerned about this at all. So, but yeah, so that's kind of what is going on here right now, my friends. Like I said, we've been watching these two tropical systems here over the last while. So that's just kind of the update on them really quickly. I just wanted to briefly touch up on that in regard to what is currently happening. So, all right, my friends, let's go ahead and jump on over to the models here. Let's go ahead and take a look at what time we are expecting these storms to kind of fire off here. So, we're taking a look here. The time is right here. I'm going to go ahead and highlight it. You guys can see it in the top right-hand corner, directly to south, or right here under the severe threat we have marked here. So here is the models in regard to these severe storms for today. Now, obviously, the time right now is 5:14 Eastern. and it's the 31st. So obviously, as of right now, you can obviously tell here. So we take a look here at 5. We are seeing a bit of scattered type storms that is ongoing. Now, here's the thing. What's actually happening right now is, yeah, I mean, we do have a storm that is currently going on here. A few storms that is actively happening. So that's relatively correct for the most part. But here's the thing. As we do track down here into the next hour, that's where the models really do kind of pick up on the severity increasing across the Minneapolis region, as well as moving into the western side of Wisconsin. So obviously, that is what we got to watch out for, is obviously these storms, as they do track their way here to the east, obviously they could bring the severe threat along with them. So that is what we are going to be watching out for. So let's see. Forecaster Mia says, hey, what's up? Hope you're doing all right. I was going to see Skeleton Bone says, going to get severe rain inside Seminole, Oklahoma. I think, is that a question that you're asking here? Well, as of right now, I mean, in regard to severe weather, there's really nothing going on here across Oklahoma. Really anything for today. Tomorrow either, yeah, we're not really expecting any severe weather over the next several days for Oklahoma, so I think that we're relatively okay. But anyways, like I was saying, we are going to be watching, these storms as they do progress here over the next few hours. As you can obviously see, this is a cold front situation. We're going to be seeing a lot of multi-cell, a lot of, maybe even potentially a line here that could form. It depends on, how this does play out here, obviously. Here's a different model. Kind of showing the same thing, kind of obviously, how the storm intensity is expected to kind of kick up here over the next, really any time now, really any time these storms could actually fire off here. So definitely is something to keep an eye out here for. Here's another model here. You can kind of see this one's a little bit more in that line fashion that we are typically used to seeing, during these cold front events here. So obviously that is actively what we are seeing here. So we're going to keep an eye on it, my friends. We're going to keep on watching it here. I tell you what, here's something I'm going to do. We're going to pull up here to the north. You can obviously see right here where this front is located, all the warm air being shot up to the north by these little wind barbs, and then the colder air backing in behind us. So your kind of front is located right around in here, right where my mouse cursor is. And like I said, obviously, these storms are expected to fire off here. We have a lot of instability at play here. We're talking over 2,000 joules per kilogram, which if you don't know what that means, I'm sure a lot of you guys don't. It basically just means that we have a decent amount of energy that's required for thunderstorms to fire off in. So obviously the conditions are there for thunderstorms to happen in. So now it's just a matter of time of when these storms really start to kind of kick off here. Like I said, obviously right now we are seeing ourselves a bit of action that is actually ongoing here. If we switch on back here to my main view, you guys can actually see like what I'm talking about here is we are actually seeing a bit of severe action that is currently happening here. So obviously directly west or northwest of Minneapolis is where we are starting to see some of these storms. Now, as of right now, these are not severe. These are not severe storms as of right now, but I will tell you what, if we take a look here back at the special weather statements, you'll actually notice that there is one special weather statement here. Directly near Grand Rapids and almost the north-central side here of Minnesota. Now, here's what we're expecting. Like I said, this is obviously not severe warned yet, but it is. They're saying it's a strong storm, basically. It's strong, but it's not severe. So obviously this is right here towards the Grand Rapids region, directly west of it for areas of Deer River, directly east of Federal Dam here. So this is a, like I said, this is a special weather statement. This is not a severe thunderstorm warning. So basically what we can expect out of this storm as of right now is wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour. Now, to be severe, it has to be 58 miles per hour or more. We're talking 40 miles per hour, so this is not classified as severe as of right now. Obviously, hail could be possible up to 1/4 of an inch, which obviously is far away from any severe hail. Just really, really small things of hail could be possible, but for the most part, hail is not really anything to worry about out of this storm here. Like I said, obviously, it's just a strong storm as of right now. It's not severe, but it will need to be continually monitored as we do track down here over the next little bit. Like I said, obviously, as we do track down further in time, especially any time now, these things could start popping off and going severe. So obviously, this is something that we have got to keep an eye out here for. Now, if we take a look here across the Mid-Atlantic, you'll notice how many special marine warnings we actually do have. There's a lot of pretty nasty storms that's actually going on here across portions sub-severe, under the severe criteria, you can actually see that there is actually a severe thunderstorm warning across this more thinner yellow line. That's the difference between a severe thunderstorm warning and the special weather statement here. So you can obviously tell that we have a lot of special weather statements going on here. Lots of, strong but not severe storms as of right now that is ongoing here at the moment. So obviously we got to keep an eye on these, as some of these could go severe warned at any given moment here. Now, like I said, we have one active severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect here, kind of across the eastern side here of North Carolina. Or so yeah, actually North Carolina here towards the Jacksonville area. We are actually seeing a pretty nasty storm here directly east of Interstate 40. So this is currently going on towards Richland, portions here of Belleville. As well as, like I said, obviously right here towards Jacksonville. This is not Jacksonville, Florida. This is actually Jacksonville in eastern North Carolina, by the way. So like I said, obviously, what the concern out of this storm is that 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. So this is classified as severe, as well as quarter-size hail. Like I said, obviously, hail up to the size of 1 inch in diameter or the size of a quarter is basically possible here. So obviously, that is what we are talking about. Anyways, let's go ahead and see. Jen Rose says, hi, what's up? Hope you're doing all right. Glad to have you here. Hope you're doing all right, my friends. Devin says, hi, what's up, Devin? Hope you're doing all right. Glad to have you here, my friend. But yeah, so like I said, that is currently actively what we are seeing here as of right now. We only have one severe thunderstorm warning. We have 0 tornado warnings, luckily. Let's just hope it kind of stays that way for the next little bit, which is obviously is, it's a good thing. We don't want to have, the severe weather happening here. So obviously we'll just continue to watch it. We'll see how this does play out here. Now here's something I do want to touch up on, since, we're kind of on the waiting game here as of right now. Something I do want to end up touching up on is the current hazards we are seeing across the nation here. So obviously, here's what's happening. Let's go ahead and actually bring up my pen here so I can actually circle the areas we are talking about here. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff that is ongoing here, really especially across the Northwest. As you can see all of these different colors. Like I said, obviously it's nothing to really, I'll explain what they mean here right now. So first of all, let's go ahead and remove that. First of all, here's the thing. Across portions of Kentucky, we are still seeing a bit of flooding. So obviously, those flood watches are in effect across these areas here in green. Same thing across the Southwest. We're seeing lots and lots of flooding that is ongoing here currently. Across the Southwest, areas here of New Mexico, areas here of Arizona, Nevada, portions here of Utah, and especially here in California on the far southern edge. We actually are seeing ourselves a lot of flooding and a lot of flooding potential that could happen here. So the dark green is flood watches. The kind of this red color here is actually flash flood warnings, as we were actually seeing there's a lot of dangerous flooding that is ongoing across the Southwest here currently. Now, there's a big old mess here in the Northwest, and I know you might be wondering, well, what the heck does this mean? The orange color you see right here, this is basically saying we have some heat advisories. Obviously, heat advisories means that we are expecting some relatively hot conditions to occur across the locations here, so obviously expect the heat to be persistent. So obviously, be safe and make sure that you are staying in a relatively AC environment and stuff like that. Now the areas here in this maroon shaded color, kind of this, magenta shaded color here, this is actually what we are looking at here. So this is actually excessive heat warnings that we are seeing here now. Excessive heat warnings are actually much worse than those heat advisories. Excessive heat warnings meaning that temperatures well in the hundreds is expected to occur. So obviously, very, very hot conditions across the Northwest is expected here. So obviously, we got to keep our eyes open for this. Then you might notice that there's actually another shade of kind of pink color here, kind of this hot pink color. Now, this is actually not related to really heat. I mean, kind of is, but not really. More indirectly, this is actually the wildfire potential here. This is actually saying, hey, due to windy conditions and low humidity, obviously, wildfires can actually really kick off here relatively quickly across the Northwest. So that anywhere you see this hot, kind of hot pink shaded color, that's obviously the region where we are expecting the possibility of maybe some wildfires that could occur. So not only is there a heat, not only is there a heat concern here, but we're seeing the potential of maybe some wildfires as well being possible across the Northwest here. So obviously that is something we got to keep our eyes out here for. So I'll tell you what, my friends, let's go ahead and move on back here. We just got a new special weather statement here. This is almost actually severe warning. So let's go ahead and switch on back here. This is actually across the Southwest, believe it or not. Directly southwest of Phoenix, Arizona here. Let's actually pull up the local radar on this. This is actually Interstate 8 is being included in this, basically directly west of Casa Grande. I think that's how you would pronounce that here. Anyways, like I said, this is right across portions of Interstate 8. This is almost severe warn in regard to the damaging winds here. You can obviously see how winds up to 55 miles per hour is possible out of this storm. Like I said, to be severe, it has to be 58 miles per hour or higher. So it's getting there. It's possible that this thing could go severe warn here down the line. We'll continue watching it here. Like I said, we have a few other ones that's popping up across portions of Nevada here. Actually all of them are here for 40 mile per hour winds, as well as, obviously quarter inch hail could be possible out of this. So obviously, like I said, right now they're not severe, and we just got a new information here. We now have a tornado warning that's in effect here for Jacksonville, North Carolina here. So this is actually a new tornado warning that has just now popped up. This has just now popped up here for areas of Pumpkin Center, Piney Green, as well as Jacksonville. There is now a tornado warning that is in place here. So here's what we're going to do, my friends. We're going to switch over to velocity scan. You can actually kind of tell right here. You see this area right there? This is where we are seeing some rotation that is ongoing. So obviously with rotation, there's a possibility of a tornado. So a tornado warning has just now been issued. This right here, my friends, is where this is currently happening right now. So this is where the rotation is located. This is where the potential tornado could be forming here. So obviously this is something we are going to be watching out for. So this is moving its way here basically eastward. So like I said, areas here of Piney Green should obviously be inside of your shelter here. The area here of heavy rotation is directly pretty much the south of Jacksonville. But I will say Jacksonville is inside the polygon warning, so obviously you should be taking shelter regardless as well. Like I said, this is definitely tightening rotation. This is definitely increasing rotation. You can see right here how the inbound winds start to get a lot more stronger. And here in the latest frame here, it's actually that's actually some decent rotation we are actually seeing here currently. So we are going to keep an eye on it. We're going to keep on peaking the correlation coefficient as well. This is the scan that will tell us if there's any debris that's being lofted up in the air. But as of right now, it's just rotation. But like I said, obviously with rotation, there's a tornado potential here, which is obviously no good at all. So we're going to keep on watching this here. Like I said, obviously areas here for Swansboro as well. As you can see right here, Swansboro is included in this warning here. Like I said, Piney Green here, Pumpkin Center, and Jacksonville. If you guys want to know where this is at directly, this is here on the eastern side of North Carolina. So this is currently what is happening here as of right now. Once again, for the people who are just now joining, this is a tornado warning that is in effect here. We have 33 minutes to go, so basically here until I believe 6 o'clock Eastern time before this does get canceled, but that is kind of what we are talking about. So we'll definitely watch out for it. We're going to keep our eyes out here for the storm here, as a tornado could develop out of it. The latest frame does still show a little bit of rotation that is ongoing here, directly south of Jacksonville, tracking its way directly to the east here. Like I said, Piney Green, even Jacksonville, Pumpkin Center, and Swansboro, you should be inside of your shelter. Obviously, the central and interior portion of your home is the best place to go. I mean, if you have a basement or a storm cellar, that's obviously the best place to go. But like I said, obviously, if you don't have any of those, the central interior portion of your home is the best place to go. Put as many walls between yourself and the outside as possible. Also be recommended to bring a helmet to help protect your head from flying debris, and obviously some shoes to help protect your feet as well. Because you got to think, after the tornado, say worst case scenario does happen, a tornado happens and it does hit your house. At worst case scenario, you got to think there's going to be all types of sharp objects outside after the fact. So once you go out there, there's going to be nails, glass, sheet metal, you name it, all types of sharp objects that could cause additional injuries. Like I said, obviously the last thing that the hospital systems would need is more patients here due to something they could have helped prevent. So obviously bring your shoes with you, bring your helmet with you as well. Obviously it would be recommended to even bring a mattress if you could to your safe spot. Once again, in the central and interior portion of your home. Obviously, like I said, if you have a basement or a storm cellar, that's your number one option. The second option would be the central interior portion. And if that's not even the case, say if you're in a mobile home or a trailer, do not stay in the mobile home or the trailer. You got to get to a better place. Find a sturdy building. If there's no buildings nearby, say if you're in a trailer where there's nothing nearby, get into a lowest portion of a ditch. A ditch is going to provide you much more protection than that trailer would. I guarantee you a small little wind gust will easily toss that trailer like a tumbleweed. So obviously that is not something that we want to deal with here. So once again, we are still seeing some rotation that is going on directly south of Jacksonville, North Carolina here. Like I said, this is a tornado warning that is in effect here for areas here of Swansboro, portions of Piney Green, Pumpkin Center, as well as Jacksonville. So we are going to keep our eyes out here for this as of right now. This is moving right here towards Cedar Point here in southern, obviously in basically eastern North Carolina here. So we are going to continue watching this. This has 31 minutes to go. So we basically have ourselves until 6 o'clock Eastern time. This is an Eastern time warning, so 6 o'clock Eastern time is whenever this does get canceled here. So we have a little bit to go before this does get canceled, my friends. So we'll definitely continue watching this here. So once again, for the people who are just now joining, here's the state of North Carolina. Here's the United States. You guys can actually see the state of North Carolina on the far eastern side towards Jacksonville. Jacksonville is included. Pumpkin Center, Piney Green, as well as obviously, like I said, right here. Also, that's also possibly included is Swansboro as well. So definitely continue watching this. Like I said, we are picking up some rotation as of right now. You can see it right in here. This is where the rotation is located, right here. You can see how there's different colors here. The green is showing that those winds are moving at the radar, and the red is showing that the winds are moving away from the radar. So we can obviously tell that there is a bit of counterclockwise rotation that is ongoing, in which obviously this is, this is some rotation that is actively happening. And obviously where there's rotation, the next step would therefore to be a tornado on the ground. Now there could be a tornado on the ground right now. We have no confirmation that it's on the ground as of this moment, but it could be on the ground, and that's why you need to be inside of your shelter here. So we need to continue watching this here. Like I said, this thing is tracking its way here to the east. This looks like it might be just passing directly just south of Piney Green here. If it continues on its track here, you can actually see how it's been kind of tracking kind of to the east, relatively due east, where you can actually see here. So we are going to continue watching this track here. We're going to continue to see, this thing is still rotating. Like I said, this is a tornado warning, and it's still in effect here for 29 more minutes to go. We have ourselves a bit to go, my friends. So obviously, stay safe over here. Obviously, we got to keep our eyes open for this tornado warning here. And like I said, tornadoes are not the main concern for today, but they can indeed happen, and there is the possibility of that. And as we can see right now what's going on, we have our first tornado warning here across portions here of eastern North Carolina. At least the first tornado warning that we've done on stream here. So the latest radar update has came out. You can still see this kind of depression, kind of this little, little hole that's right here on the velocity scan. You can still see that there is still some rotation that is indeed happening here. Just because it looks a lot different than the latest scan did, but I do tell you what, this is still some rotation that is ongoing. You can obviously see over the last few scans, it looks like it's kind of moving more southeast now. So obviously, kind of just tracking south of Jacksonville, and obviously moving kind of just relative. It looks like it might be moving to the south of Piney Green here. So we're gonna keep on watching this here. Obviously, like I said, there is still some rotation that is ongoing here. Even though it's really not the biggest area of rotation we've seen, this is definitely still some rotation that is currently happening here. So we're going to take a look here at correlation coefficient. There's really nothing popping up here on correlation coefficient, which is definitely a good news. Which if you did see something that popped up on here, that would not be any good news. That would basically mean that we've seen some debris, any objects that a tornado could have picked up and thrown it up in the air. Obviously, that would have not have been a good signature to see. As of right now, I'm not seeing any confirmation that this is on the ground, but just because I'm saying that does not mean that you're safe to come out of your shelter. So, regardless, if you are inside of this polygon here, Pumpkin Center, even though you're on the far other side of where we are seeing this rotation, you should still be inside of your shelter regardless. Pumpkin Center, Jacksonville, Piney Green, obviously, like I said, we are watching this here currently, so we definitely got to keep our eyes open for this as well. So we're going to keep our eyes open. We're going to continue to watch the storm here and see what it does end up wanting to do here. So, but as of right now, like I said, guys, we have ourselves a tornado warning that is in effect here. Once again, across the eastern side of North Carolina, we're going to keep our eyes open for this. There's also a really high outbound or inbound winds here, as you can actually see. Very, very strong winds pushing towards the radar here. This might even be some damaging winds that could potentially happen here on the radar, or actually right here near Jacksonville. So maybe some damaging winds could be possible also with this storm here as well. Not only is a tornado being possible, but we could obviously possibly see maybe some damaging winds here near Jacksonville being possible as well. So something to keep our eyes out here for, guys. We'll see what's happening here. Anyways, let's see here. Christian says scary tornado warning. That is for sure. Brian says, can I check on Louisville? We'll take a look at Louisville here in a moment. We're going to wait for the tornado warning to kind of start to die down here, and after that, then we'll definitely we'll look more about that here in a minute. I can tell you right now, as of today, in regard to Louisville, there's really nothing happening here. Okay, so obviously we're looking pretty good. Tomorrow, though, there's a possibility of severe weather across Louisville, so just keep that in mind. But like I said, right now our main concern is right here, obviously on this tornado warning that is currently in effect here. So once again, my friends, for the people who are just now joining, we have ourselves a tornado warning that is in effect here for Jacksonville, North Carolina, on the far eastern coast here of North Carolina. This is a tornado warning. This also does include the areas here of Piney Green and Pumpkin Center. Now, like I said, we are currently seeing ourselves a bit of, decently strong inbound winds moving towards the radar, as you can see here in this brighter color. So this actually could be maybe even some damaging winds that might be actually happening near the Jacksonville area as well. So we'll definitely continue to watch it here. So we do have some good news, at least from what I'm seeing here right now. It does look like that rotation is kind of starting to bleed out here. Here's the previous scan. The last really, the latest scan really doesn't really show any rotation that's ongoing, so that might be some good news. So maybe we'll see this tornado warning get canceled even sooner than the actual expiration date here, so which actually is being good news. But like I said, obviously this is still a tornado warning, and you should still be inside of your shelters until we get the all clear. And once we give the all clear, I'll let you guys know. Obviously, that's the reason we're here, is to explain or to show you guys what is currently happening here. So once again, my friends, please be safe out there. Areas of Pumpkin Center, portions of Jacksonville. This is not Jacksonville, Florida. Once again, this is Jacksonville, North Carolina. Piney Green as well, and Pumpkin Center. So we are going to keep on watching this. So we also do have a severe thunderstorm warning that is on the outside of this as well, as you can currently see for areas of Sneads Ferry, portion here directly west of Maysville, for areas of Richlands, portions of Half Moon. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. So not only is damaging winds being possible out of this storm, not only is there a possible tornado or damaging winds, but we actually are seeing the possibility of some hail up to the size of quarters being possible. I'm sure you guys have seen a quarter sometime in your life. If not, it's 1 inch in diameter, or I think it's like 2.5 or 2.6 centimeters if you don't know the imperial system. I'm pretty sure, I think that's what it is. I think it might be 2.6. Regardless, so 1 inch hail is expected or possible out of this storm here, also damaging winds, and that tornado warning is also inside the heart of this severe thunderstorm warning, so obviously a potential tornado could be possible as well. So, but that is what we are talking about. So guys, please be safe out there. Obviously, like I said, we have this that is currently in effect here. The current expiration date, or the current expiration time, we have about nearly 20 minutes to go, actually 23 to be exact. So once again, this swing will expire here at 6 o'clock Eastern time. This will be 5 o'clock Central time. So if you guys are following along on the Eastern and Central time, those are the time zone at 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern here. So once again, my friends, this is a tornado warning that is in effect here across portions of Jacksonville, as well as Pumpkin Center and Piney Green here, directly west here of Cape Carteret. I think it's how you pronounce that. Yeah, Carteret. And also directly west here of Emerald Isle. So that is what we are watching here. Once again, this is a tornado warning directly north of Sneads Ferry and basically directly southeast of Richlands. So we are watching out for this here right now. Now, like I said, obviously the latest scan, just because it's showing that rotation is dying down, at least in the latest scan, does not mean that it's over. I have seen multiple times in my experience of chasing and tracking tornadoes. These things can quickly recycle. These things can quickly look like they're about to be done, but they could recycle, and they could actually, bring back up that tornado threat. So obviously, that's probably the reason we're still seeing this tornado warning that's in effect here. The National Weather Service is probably just waiting for confirmation to see what this storm is currently doing here, and if they're going to need to extend the warning or if they're going to need to just get rid of it altogether. But as of right now, like I said, I'm not really seeing anything too crazy in regard to the rotation here anymore. You can see where the rotation was, which is right around in here. This was what we call a couplet. You can obviously see how the rotation was kind of going down to the east-southeast. It was kind of tracking more of a southeast here, you can actually see. But you can obviously tell over the latest scans here that it does kind of bleed out, which might be a good news. And here's actually the thing here. We just now got the tornado warning that just now been canceled. So you guys are now safe to come out of your shelters. I would not recommend going outside still yet. Because obviously there is still that severe thunderstorm warning that is in place here. So the areas here are Pumpkin Center, Jacksonville, Piney Green. You are now safe to come out of your shelters as the tornado warning is no longer in effect. We just now got confirmation that it has been canceled. So we're looking pretty good here. But like I said, severe thunderstorm warning is still in effect here for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So obviously, even though the tornado potential is now gone, but here's the thing. Obviously, damaging winds could still exist here. And like I said, obviously directly kind of towards east of Jacksonville, we are seeing kind of these brighter colors. I honestly kind of think that we could actually see maybe even some damaging winds being possible out of this storm here. So we'll continue watching it. Like I said, obviously damaging wind potential maybe up to 60 miles per hour could be possible. So definitely watch out for that. So 60-mile-per-hour winds could be possible, as well as hail up to the size of quarters could also be a possibility. So obviously hail up to the size of 1 inch in diameter could exist. So that is something to watch out for. Anyways, let's see here. Crit says, hello everyone. What's up? Hope you're doing all right. But like I said, my friends, obviously just please be safe out there for today. Like I said, even though tornadoes are not the main concern, like I said, they cannot be ruled out as they are possible across not one, but actually 2 different locations being possibilities. So, and I'm actually going to go ahead and show you guys where tornadoes could be possible for today. So let's go ahead and switch on back here to the Storm Prediction Center here really quickly. So here's the day 1 outlook here for today. This is the tornado probability. So the green is indicating your tornado possibilities here for today. So, like I said, there's 2 different locations we are seeing the possibility of a tornado or 2 that could happen. Obviously, we did have that tornado warning that was located kind of right outside of this 2% risk here, but this was a tornado warning that was in effect here. So, obviously, tornadoes cannot be ruled out across the areas here of North Carolina and Southern Virginia, as well as the areas here on the east central and southeastern side of Minnesota, also the western side of Wisconsin. You can actually see where these green areas here are located. This is where we are actually seeing the possibility of seeing maybe even some, like I said, obviously maybe a tornado or 2 could happen. Obviously, damaging winds, like I said, is the main concern here for today. The greatest potential, the greatest probability of seeing those damaging winds is once again across the yellow. This is that 2 out of 5 severe threat for today. Hail is also a possibility, not across the mid-Atlantic, but more across the Midwest and portions of the upper Midwest, areas of Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, for the most part, has the possible hail threat for today. So we're pretty much just awaiting for initiation to kick off with the storms across the north. If we go ahead and switch on back here to Minnesota, we'll notice that we actually do have the storms are actually increasing. Yes, the storms are actually it does look like they are now, really starting to kind of kick off here. If we take a look here back at reflectivity, you can actually see here these storms are just now starting to kind of fire off here. Directly northwest of Minneapolis here, you can actually see these are not severe warned as of right now. They're not severe storms, but does not mean that they will be, or does not mean that they won't be in the long run. So obviously, like I said, the environment right now is definitely capable of producing some severe storms. And in this case, like I said, obviously, damaging winds the main concern. Hail and an isolated tornado or 2 could not be ruled out here. So obviously all types of severe weather is theoretically possible here for today across the areas here across the Midwest. Like I said, obviously the greatest chance here of seeing the severe weather, the highest probability, the highest potential impacted area here for today is across the yellow shaded color. Once again, this does include portions here of Minneapolis, so we definitely have got to continue watching this here, my friends. So please be on the lookout, guys. We have got to definitely continue watching this here, my friends. So definitely is something we gotta definitely keep an eye out here for. Once again, like I said, on the far western side of Wisconsin, and obviously, like I said, the areas here in Minneapolis have definitely got to watch out for the severe weather here for today. So guys, just please be safe out there. Let's see here. Grace says, will there be severe storms in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota? So, here's the thing. The majority of Minnesota will likely, possibly, I wouldn't say likely, I'd say it's possible that you could see some severe storms. Like I said, the really only area that's not really likely to see any severe storms is across the southwestern side. kind of like, near Sioux Falls area here. I know Sioux Falls is actually in South Dakota, but I'm kind of talking around the far southwestern side. Really on the far western side of the state is where we're not really expecting any severe weather. The severe weather is only possible really across the central and mostly the eastern side. Really, actually, mostly the southeastern side. Like I said, Minneapolis definitely is an area we got to watch out for possible severe storms. And here's actually a thing that we do actually have going on here. If we switch to our other screen, here's actually a live view in St. Paul, which is Minneapolis here. St. Paul is just a location inside of Minneapolis. We'll actually go ahead and blow up the screen here. We make it a little bit bigger. So you can actually see here that we are actually watching and we are actually seeing ourselves some cloudy conditions that are starting to kind of build up across the location. Obviously, like I said, right now there's no stormy conditions in Minneapolis, but like I said, there is some storms that's directly just to the northwest. Like I said, this is where the St. Paul is. Go ahead and show you where St. Paul is at. This is where St. Paul is at. Here is Minneapolis. This whole area is Minneapolis, but St. Paul is a specific area inside of Minneapolis. And like I said, this is right where the camera is located. Now, like I said, obviously just northwest of the camera, this is where we are seeing some active storms. Like I said, these are not severe one right now, but like I said, there's still definitely some storms that we got to continue watching here. So let's go ahead and get rid of these special weather statements. It does look like we have ourselves another severe thunderstorm warning that just now gotten issued. We now have ourselves an update here in eastern. Like I said, obviously when we were looking back at that velocity signature just a moment ago, like I said, how there's likely some damaging winds here. Look what's happened, my friends. Obviously now we are looking at a new severe thunderstorm warning for areas of Havelock, areas here of Pollexville, Maysville included, as well as Cape where's that at? Cape Carteret, I think it's Carteret. I don't know how you pronounce that exactly. But regardless, like I said, we are watching this. This has actually now been an increased storm. Now this is now for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So now we're kind of clocking up, kind of near. Unfortunately, we're kind of clocking up here towards hurricane force wind gusts being possible across the areas here. Like I said, areas of Maysville, Pollexville, as well as Havelock and Newport. Obviously, this is a new severe thunderstorm warning that has just now popped up here. So, like I said, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and nickel-size hail. Now, the hail size, like I said, hail size has gone down a bit. Like I said, once we were looking back at the outlook area, we're not really expecting too many, hail events to occur across the Mid-Atlantic for today. But like I said, damaging winds is now up to 70 miles per hour being possible, which is obviously not good. They also did actually update this as well for Piney Green, Pumpkin Center here. So if we take a look here back at velocity scan, like I was saying here, you can see where these highlighted areas are. You can kind of see how they get really, really bright across these locations here. So that's possibly where we are likely seeing some of these damaging winds here, directly due east of Pumpkin Center currently, kind of near Piney Green as well. So obviously, regardless, we got to watch out for damaging winds inside of the storm here, as it is definitely possible. Once again, like I said, this is potentially some damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour being possible. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for this. So like at this point, this is actually destructive winds, okay? So 70-mile-per-hour winds are actually destructive, and they can cause straight-line wind damage, which is obviously a concern. So definitely, guys, definitely keep on watching this, okay? So like I said, we definitely got to keep our eyes out for it. Once again, my friends, just please be safe out there. If you have any questions, throw them down in the chat. I'm going to try to get to as many as possible here. So once again, there is now a new severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect here across portions of Newport, areas here of Havelock, Maysville included, Swansboro. This is for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So winds could get up to 70 miles per hour. Like I said, that's right here near hurricane force winds. Obviously, some hail could be a possibility as well. Now, like I said, that's currently what's happening here as of right now. We are expecting also some more severe weather across portions of Nebraska, portions of Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin for today, with actually a greater threat than we actually are currently seeing here. So, like I said, guys, that is currently what we are actively seeing here. So, once again, my friends, we're going to have you guys covered here. We actually do have a damaging wind report that actually is coming in here directly south of Jacksonville. 54-mile-per-hour wind gust has been reported here near, let's go and see here. This is actually right here in Onslow County, North Carolina here, in New River Station here. This is actually currently, this is basically a wind report that has already been issued, or actually has already been reported here, of a 54-mile-per-hour wind gust. Now, this is actually not severe. Like I said, it has to be 58 miles per hour or more to be classified as severe. But obviously, it is we are talking about. So, but like I said, my friends, please be safe out there. If you have any questions, we're going to get you guys covered here for today. And like I said, we are likely seeing ourselves, likely some damaging winds that is ongoing with this storm here. Like I said, up to 70 miles per hour, directly south of Maysville, directly west here of Newport, and directly west of Havelock here. Like I said, this highlighted area here, this is radar saying the winds are a lot more stronger. Luckily, we have a radar that's relatively close by, so we have some good data that is actually coming in here. Like I said, the Newport radar is right next to where we are actively seeing this. So that is something we got to keep our eyes on here for the next little bit. Like I said, obviously we are seeing a lot of storms that is continuing to track its way here, basically through the Mid-Atlantic region, tracking its way here generally to the east. We do have another pretty strong storm near the Benson area here, basically between Interstate 40 and basically between Interstate 40 and 95 towards Smithville. Like I said, this is not a severe storm, but this is classified as a strong storm here. Like I said, here's a special weather statement that's been issued for this storm here. For areas here of Four Oaks, Micro, Pine Level, and Smithfield. I don't know if I said Smithfield already. But anyways, this does include Interstate 40 and Interstate 95. Like I said, we have 10 minutes to go before the special weather statement does get canceled here. But obviously, winds up to 40 miles per hour and 1/4 inch size hail could be possible as well. Like I said, this is not classified as severe, but this is indeed a strong storm we are still watching here. But like I said, that is, we got to watch all of these storms here because, like I said, it could just be a matter of minutes before they do actually end up going severe, which is definitely something that we are going to watch out for. So let's go ahead, my friends. Let's go ahead and take a look here back and see what is going on here in the Minneapolis region here. I'm actually towards, like I said, Minnesota. We are seeing the biggest severe threat for today located right here in the heart of Minneapolis and the located areas here surrounding it. Like I said, Pine City, St. Cloud as well. We are actively seeing this here right now. Now, this does include some areas here of Interstate 94 and 35, both north, south, east, and west, right here at the intersection point of Minneapolis. Like I said, we have some live cameras here in Minneapolis. We're going to keep an eye on them. If the storm does get near them, obviously we're going to be taking a look at those and stuff like that. But like I said, as of right now, we are seeing ourselves a bit of storm activity that is trying to form off here across the Minneapolis region here. If we go ahead and switch back to the Minneapolis radar here, we'll go ahead and come to the latest frame. You can actually see how the storms are now trying to actually form off here. We can actually start to see here directly west of Cambridge here, directly east of St. Cloud. We are still watching ourselves. We're still watching, obviously some, storms that is just now starting to fire off here. We have another special marine warning that is in effect here, basically directly south here of let's go see Black Duck here, right towards Turtle River. Okay, so this is for 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts, which is far from being severe, but obviously some hail up to penny size could be possible. It's 0.75 inches, so basically 3/4 of an inch hail or penny size hail could be possible out of this storm. Like I said, this is not severe as of right now, but like I said, all these storms we got to watch out for as they could quickly go severe. Because like I said, we are in an environment where severe storms can quickly materialize and quickly form off of. So, I tell you what, my friends, let's go ahead and switch on back here to my other screen. Here's a live camera here in St. Paul. This is in Minneapolis, by the way, more like towards the eastern side of Minneapolis. Take a look here at the sky. We can obviously tell that things are clouding up here currently. You can obviously see some cumulus clouds, some cumulonimbus clouds that's in the background here. So obviously the conditions you can kind of just tell right now by looking at the atmosphere is that, yes, we actually are seeing ourselves, obviously, an unstable atmosphere, which obviously can indeed allow for severe weather to occur. Now, here's the thing. Here's like the current conditions. If we take a look here back at the meso-analysis, like I said, I don't expect you guys to know what all this means here, but we are seeing an area of low pressure that is located right here across Minnesota. You can obviously tell this line right here, this is right where the cold front is located. We have all of this warm and moisture-filled air driving its way up here to the north ahead of the front. It's a little bit more warmer ahead of the front, it usually is. And then obviously we have ourselves our cooler air coming down from the north and backing up behind this cold front. So obviously the cold air is overtaking the warm air, And with that being said, basically just the the interaction between the warm and moisture-filled air and the dry and cooler air obviously creates that instability that's needed for storms to fire off here. We're seeing values here in the 2000s, which is plenty enough fuel, plenty enough instability that's allowed for thunderstorms to start firing off here. So that is kind of what we are watching, my friends. So we're going to keep on watching it. Like I said, obviously these storms could easily go severe at any moment here. But like I said, as of right now, we are watching one active, or actually at this point, actually 2 active severe thunderstorm warnings that is in effect here across the eastern side of North Carolina. Like I said, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts is possible. We have a lot of damaging wind reports coming actually in here now. Let's look at this. Ham radio relayed reports of branches down in the intersection of Piney Green Road and Country Club Road here, time based on radar. So this was estimated here at 2:37 p.m. Pacific. So this would have been, let's see, 4:37 Central and 5:37 Eastern here. So this would have been literally just not too long ago. This was literally just reported here. So we are having reports here in Pumpkin Center, right here in Pumpkin Center, that we actually are seeing some branches from trees being reported down here. Here's also another wind gust that has been reported here. A wind gust of 60-mile-per-hour winds has been reported here. So like I said, that is actually classified as severe wind. So obviously, like I said, with this storm, there is the possibility of seeing some wind damage out of this. So obviously, we've already seen some branches being reported down. We've already seen a reported wind gust of up to 60 miles per hour. So obviously, that is actively what we are watching here. So obviously, there is some damage that is happening with this. And so, like I said, the areas that is included with this, like I said, areas of Newport, Havelock here as well. Pollexville is kind of moving out on the backside of the storm here, but areas of Maysville is still likely getting hit by this. So those locations, it would be recommended to be inside of your, obviously your safe spot. Like I said, you do not want to be outside during an event like this. Like I said, this is actually a very strong, severe thunderstorm here. Like I said, this is a different kind of breed of thunderstorm. Like I said, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts is indeed very destructive. And like I said, that's kind of clocking up towards hurricane force winds here. Like I said, it has to be 75 miles per hour or more to be classified as a hurricane, or hurricane force winds, I should say. And like I said, we're talking potentially up to 70 miles per hour being possible. So obviously, this is something that we have got to continue watching here. And like I said, these areas here of Havelock and Newport, you got to be watching out for it, because this is going to hit you like a brick wall. As you can already see, I mean, look how much of concentration, look how the sharp gradient here, how it goes from no precipitation being detected to just a solid wall of very, very heavy rainfall and very, very strong winds that is literally tracking its way here to the east. So like I said, Newport included, definitely be prepared for this system. Right now would be a good time to get to your safe spot. Like I said, in this case, definitely stay away from windows. You do not want to be next to windows, because obviously those winds can pick up debris and they can slam them straight through your window. And if you're right next to it, obviously that is not good. So you want to stay away from those windows. It would be recommended to go like in a hallway or something away from windows. That would probably be the best place to go. It just be until this warning has been canceled. So here's the thing. So this warning does not expire here until we have 49 minutes to go, actually. So we have about 50 minutes to go here. So we have basically until, let's go and take a look at the warning here, until 6:45 p.m. Eastern Time. So this would be 5:45 if you guys are following along here on the Central Time Zone. But yeah, so that is kind of what we are looking at here. So let's see here. Devin says, tweet a photo when I have time. Okay, look at that here in a second. Time to Kill says, hello from Falcon, Colorado. What's up? Hope you're doing all right, my friend. Glad to have you here. Chip says, great coverage. Thank you so much. Also says, Bella Vista, Arkansas, checking in. Well, glad to have you here, Chip. Hope you're doing all right. Devin says, tweeted a video when I have time. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look here at Twitter. Let's go ahead and see what we have gotten in here. Here's a report coming in here. Wow. Let's go and take a look here back at our back in the Twitter view here. So this is actually a report coming in here from Devin. You can see a shelf cloud here. This was in Michigan. This was pretty nuts. I mean, look at that. That is very, very beautiful. What's really cool about these clouds is you can obviously see the layers that they have on them. They basically call them shelf clouds because obviously they look like little shelves. Little notches where you can put stuff and everything like that. But like I said, obviously, this is what we call a shelf cloud because they have multiple plate layers that stack up on each other, which is usually what we're likely seeing with that one cell in North Carolina, like I said, like the 70-mile-per-hour wind gust storm, that is likely what's happening on that high concentration area. Like I said, obviously that is likely what we are actively seeing here. So obviously that is not very good at all. Well, thank you so much for reporting that there, Devin. Greatly appreciated, my friend. So let's go ahead and take a look here at another video that he actually reported here. This is in Locust Fork here. You can obviously see, looks like some storms is starting to kind of build into the region here. So obviously, yep, you can obviously tell by that cloud structure there. So yep, definitely storms is looking like it is starting to build into the region. So we are definitely going to keep on watching this. And like I said, here's the update on the storm that's currently happening here in North Carolina. Like I said, areas of Havelock, as well as Newport here as well. These locations have got to be in their safe spot. Let's actually go ahead and turn on this light here. That way I can actually get some, that looks a lot better. But anyways, like I said, obviously, you know, these areas here in Havelock and Newport, you have got to watch this here very closely. Because like I said, this is obviously a pretty destructive storm. Like I said, up to 70 miles per hour, up to 70 mile an hour winds could indeed be possible out of this storm here. So definitely keep your eyes open for this storm here. Like I said, this is obviously, you should treat this like a tornado. In my opinion, I think you should treat this like a tornado. Obviously go to your safe spot, because like I said, this is some pretty destructive winds. And like I said, this could easily throw around debris. Anything that's loose outside could get lifted straight up. And obviously, that is that's definitely not a good thing. So please be safe out there. If you know anyone across Havelock, Newport, this is in North Carolina, also Cape Carteret. I keep on getting that. It's kind of hard to pronounce that. Anyways, so across the locations here, you need to let them know that severe weather is currently actively ongoing here. Like I said, obviously this is a maturing storm. This storm is actually looking quite brutal here, as you can actually see. This very strong gradient. You can obviously see how it literally goes from not really raining at all, to just straight up heavy rain. And once you start to see something like that, that is kind of usually what you see with those shelf clouds, like we just looked at on the Twitter view. Usually, like the picture we saw, that is likely what they are seeing here, heading towards Newport. So obviously, we have got to keep on watching this. Let's go and see if there's actually a Newport camera. Let's go see if there's a Newport live camera here. That way we can maybe get a view of it. Let's go and see here. This is in Rhode Island. I don't think that they have any in North Carolina, unfortunately. But regardless, like I said, it would be pretty cool to see if there was. Let's see here. Yeah, so there's really none in Newport, unfortunately. But it was worth a shot. It was definitely worth a shot looking up here. I didn't find any. Regardless, but like I said, obviously you need to be preparing for the storm here, as these winds can easily pick up loose objects and cause them to go airborne, which is definitely not safe at all. So, but that is currently what we are watching here now. A little update on the storms that's going on here towards the Minneapolis region. We are still seeing this storm action that is ongoing here currently. Like I said, these are not severe as of right now, but we should still continue watching them, like I said, directly northwest of Minneapolis. These storms are starting to build in. Like I said, they're not severe, but the environment is definitely available to allow for these things to go severe at any given moment. So obviously, we got to keep on watching these here close as well. Actually, the greatest chance here for severe weather is across the areas here of east, central, and southeastern Minnesota and the far western side of Wisconsin. That is kind of the greatest area here of severe weather we are expecting here. So that is actively what we are watching here. So we actually have ourselves another report coming in here from Devin here. Here is a report here. This is actually a flooding report. This is actually not really from the storms we're looking at here. But if we take a look here back at my other screen, here's actually a report coming in here from Devin. This is from Henderson, Nevada. Currently, you can actually see, like I said, we have a lot of flash flood warnings that's in place here, and for obvious reasons, because we are expecting some quick flooding. Flash meaning like quick, obviously flash being quick, and flooding. So flash flooding, quick flooding is possible across these locations here. So obviously, as we are seeing actively, we are seeing lots and lots of rainwater that is currently obviously, causing a lot of flooding across these locations. So my friends out there in the Southwest, really, like I said, we'll go ahead and show you exactly what I'm talking about. Like I said, areas here in the green, as well as the the red here. The red is showing those flash flood warnings, and the green is showing flood watches. So basically, You know, anywhere you see the dark green and the and the red here, those are the regions we need to be possibly concerned about flooding here. So definitely keep on watching that. So just stay safe out there, my friends. We'll definitely keep you guys informed on that. And if you have any questions, guys, try to, like I said, just throw them down in the chat here. We got you all covered in regard to the severe weather here. So let's go ahead and jump on back here to the storm that is currently going on here. Inside of Newport and Havelock here. Like I said, they're about to get hit here relatively hard by this storm. Like I said, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts could be possible out of this here. So that is actively what we are watching. So we're going to keep our eyes out here, my friends, and we're definitely going to, keep on watching this. So let's see here. So here's Elizabeth City. Obviously, we are still seeing ourselves, obviously a bit of rain that is currently happening here at the moment. But like I said, this is not anything severe. This is more of that moderate to heavy rainfall that is actually happening here. It's not like its counterparts here directly south. Now, this actually kind of looks like it's turning into what we call a bow echo. If you can kind of see the shape of the storm here along the front of it, you can actually see how it's starting to kind of bow back. You know, this is actually what's happening here is this is another radar signature saying, hey, damaging winds is likely going on with this storm here currently. So obviously we are seeing these very, very strong winds that are pushing the storm out and causing it to bow like you actually are seeing here right now. So once again, like I said, areas here in Newport and Havelock, you've got to watch this closely, okay? So definitely keep an eye out for this, okay? So we're definitely going to keep on watching this here. So my friends, please be safe out there. Like I said, this is a pretty nasty storm. This is a pretty destructive storm. And like I said, I would highly recommend going to your safe spot. Like I said, obviously, I would highly recommend going into the interior portion of your home. Even though this is not a tornado warning, like I said, we are still seeing some tornado-like wind speeds with some of these wind gusts that is actually warned for this storm here. We're seeing potential wind gusts maybe near hurricane force being possible. So definitely take this storm very, very seriously. This is not your average storm. This is actually a destructive storm. This is actually a pretty nasty storm. So once again, this is currently kind of exiting Swansboro. Still currently kind of kicking off here towards Emerald Isle. But like I said, Newport here, as well as Havelock, you're about to get hit here within the next 5 to 10 minutes. And I tell you, it's going to hit you like a brick wall. So obviously, please prepare for this storm now. If you know anyone across these locations, let them know what is currently happening here. So guys, just please be safe out there. Anyways, let's see. Your time to kill says we have rain every afternoon here, almost a month normally this year. 2 to 3 days of rain in Falcon, Colorado. Yeah, it's been quite crazy. It's been actually quite crazy across the Southwest in reality. It's monsoon season. We've been seeing a lot of active rainfall that's been ongoing across the Southwest here. And that's according to the Climate Prediction Center. I'll actually go ahead and show you guys something here really quickly. It's kind of interesting. If we take a look here at the Climate Prediction Center in regard to the precipitation that's expected over the next week, here's the thing. This is what the outlook looks like. The areas here in green is actually saying above average precipitation here all across the west, and actually now including the southern plains here. But the areas here in the kind of tannish brown color, this is actually looking like I said, more dry conditions. And unfortunately, with that being said as well, we actually are seeing the possibility of a lot more heat too. Here's actually here's next week's for the first week of August here. This is obviously showing us that we are expecting a lot of hot conditions across a lot of the country, kind of excluding the Southwest, where we are seeing a lot of flooding that's currently happening here. So obviously, cooler temperatures and a lot more precipitation is going to be possible for the first week of August here across portions of the Southwest. So that is actively what we are seeing here. So new information, guys. We just got ourselves a new severe thunderstorm warning and a new extension warning that has just now been issued for also portions here of eastern North Carolina. Like I said, Havelock and Newport, you are about to get hit here any minute now, because you can obviously see here, like I said, look at the sharp gradient here. You can see how it goes from no rain over here to just straight up heavy rain. That, like I said, it's going to hit you like a brick wall. It's going to be very, very gusty winds. And like I said, obviously winds up to 70 miles per hour. Near hurricane force winds is a possibility that could actually happen here. So we are going to keep our eyes peeled for this. And like I said, this is now a bow echo. like I said, a bow echo is basically a strong storm here, and you can see how it has like that bow shape, like I was just talking about here. So basically what's happening is we have some very, very strong winds that is pushing against the back of the storm here, which is obviously causing a lot of potential straight line wind damage to occur. We've already seen some damage reports come out of this storm, so this thing does actually have the history of producing some of those damaging characteristics. Like I said, obviously some damaging winds that could cause trees to snap. We've already seen some branches, or according to a report, have already been snapped here inside of the storm here, and it looks like it's actually getting stronger. Just based off of the current looks of it as of right now. So, like I said, treat this storm very, very seriously. This is actually a very, very strong storm we are currently talking about here. So, like I said, new severe thunderstorm warning has just now gotten issued for areas here in eastern North Carolina. This does include Morehead City, areas here of Oriental, Minnescott Beach, as well as Arapahoe, I don't know how to pronounce that exactly. This is basically outside of Bayboro here, but this is a new severe thunderstorm warning that has gotten issued. We have 51 minutes to go, but here's the thing. They kept that 70-mile-per-hour wind gust probability, so they still have it. They're basically still saying, yeah, this thing could still produce 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, as well as nickel-size hail, as 0.88 inches is nickel-size hail, which is almost considered severe, but it's not. But you got to think, though, if you have some of those winds that's blowing nickel-size hail at fast speeds, nearly at hurricane force, that's going to hurt. It's going to sting. So obviously, remain indoors. You don't want to have any injuries, in which honestly, that potentially could theoretically cause some mild damage, mixed in with the damaging winds here we actually are seeing. So maybe even, it depends how fast these hailstones and how large these hailstones could potentially get. Like I said, we are expecting the hailstones to potentially be around nickel size as of right now. And like I said, obviously mixing in with those damaging wind gusts allows for the acceleration of those ice crystals to become much faster. So obviously watch out for that. This could cause some mild damage. I would definitely say it's definitely possible. So definitely watch out for it. And regardless, like I said, and regardless, like I said, and regardless of hail damage or not, the damage from the damaging winds alone is a big concern. So definitely watch out for these locations here. So here's the thing, my friends. All right, so Havelock is about to, literally any second now, about to get hit if they're not already. Obviously, areas here in Newport as well. We actually are currently starting to get this. You can actually see how there's a circle. This is not the storm doing that. It's actually the radar. The radar we're looking at is literally right here. So it can only scan so low. But basically, we are seeing, this storm in reality will go something like this. So obviously, this is now moving into Newport here currently. So definitely is something to keep our eyes out here for. So definitely we're going to keep a lookout on the storm here. Currently nothing still severe in the upper Midwest, which is obviously some good news. But like I said, obviously our main concerns as of right now is this pretty daggone nasty storm that's happening here in eastern North Carolina. And as you might notice here, there's actually some blue polygons that's been issued here. These are what we call special marine warnings. Now, these are basically for the boaters out in the waters. Obviously, we have a little bit of I don't know what area or what bay this is called, but we have a bay that's going on here. Obviously, as well as out here in the Atlantic. So the areas here in the blue is basically advising the boaters to get to harbor as quick as you can, because obviously with the acceleration of these winds, the acceleration or the increasing of waves can actually be a possibility concern as well. So where there's higher winds, there's also higher waves. Kind of hints to why hurricanes, since they have such strong winds, why they have such large waves. It's because of the winds that push against the waterline, and they cause the waves to get much larger. So in this case, like I said, hurricane force winds are possible. So imagine some of those winds being possible across the waters here, and obviously sailboats and stuff like that that's out there can easily be capsized by a quick wind gust that can easily cause it to completely fall over. So this can obviously be a hazard to the people who are boating out there. Major, major concern, not only for the people on the land here, but for the people who's in the water. So obviously, definitely keep an eye out for it. This is definitely, quite a pretty interesting situation we're talking about here. So once again, we have 48 minutes to go before this does get canceled. We have a little bit to go. Like I said, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and nickel-size hail. The hail is not really classified, or it's not really classified as severe But, like I said, those damaging winds, you should definitely treat it as tornado-like wind speeds, because they are possible to cause some straight-line wind damage. And like I said, this is now currently moving through. You can obviously see how the precipitation is starting to kind of push on the eastern side of the radar now. So this thing is now officially moving through Newport, so you're likely seeing the worst of it here right now. And like I said, this thing is continually moving quite quickly here to the east, actually. Storm motion... Here's actually the future in regard to things. So this thing's expected to kind of make it towards Oriental maybe in the next 20 minutes. I mean, like I said, this is a pretty daggone fast-moving storm here, actually moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. So obviously, regardless, this actually is a pretty fast-moving storm here, so definitely got to keep on watching this, and we're going to keep an eye out here for. So, like I said, this is what we call a bow echo. And if you guys have never heard of a bow echo, you can see how the storm structure, how it kind of bows back like a bow and arrow. So here's the thing. Obviously what's going on here is we have a lot of heavy winds that's pushing against the back end side of this storm here, which is obviously causing the acceleration of the winds to occur, which is a big concern. So obviously damaging winds is obviously a very big concern out of this storm here specifically. So we'll definitely, we just got to keep on updating you guys on this. For the people who keep on joining us, like I said, obviously welcome guys. Hope y'all are doing good here. But like I said, obviously we have a pretty decent situation on our hands here currently. So like I said, Newport, Morehead City, areas here of Harker's Island included. Also Oriental, portions of Minnesota Beach as well. These locations have a severe thunderstorm warning. And like I said, this is not your normal storm. This is not your average storm. This is a storm of a different breed. And like I said, these storms are quite nasty. And like I said, storms today could get pretty nasty in regard to things. And like I said, with this storm in particular, what we just looked at here, what we're looking at here currently, this has the possibility of producing hurricane force wind gusts. Now, I want to go ahead and make this clear. This is not constant winds of 70 miles per hour being possible. This is wind gusts, what the winds could get up to at one given point. And obviously, like I said, with wind gusts, winds getting up to 70 could be possible. So definitely keep your eyes out for it, my friends. And obviously, please be safe out there. Anyways, let's go ahead and see here. Chip says, I like to hear tiny hail on my window. Hail is definitely interesting. It's definitely quite interesting. I used to freak out over hail all the time as a kid. Squid says, this kid's a fantastic weatherman. Well, thank you so much, Squid. I really appreciate it, my friend. Let's see here. K-Day says, Andrew is awesome. Thank you so much, man. Greatly appreciated. Corey says, I was flooded so bad in Kentucky, Floyd County. Can I please check on that? So, like I said, we were just looking at here just a moment ago, back at the National Weather Service hazards and stuff. Like I said, there is actually still a lot of flooding that's possible here in Virginia, or sorry, not Virginia. I'm actually from Virginia, but here in Kentucky is what I meant to say. So if we take a look here at the current active hazards, you might notice, we'll actually go ahead and blow this up here, make it a little bit bigger, so you can actually see what's going on here. These areas here in the dark green, pretty much across the southern edge, excluding the southwestern area here of Kentucky, there is still flooding possibilities that's ongoing here. So this, this dark green is a flood watch, saying, hey, the conditions for flooding exist. It could be possible that you could see some flooding down the line. So definitely be aware of that and continue to monitor this. Now we have ourselves a flood warning. This is basically an over time flooding conditions that could be possible across this light green shaded color, basically saying, hey, we are expecting some flooding that could happen here over the next little bit. And then obviously we have ourselves this red color here. This is actually a flash flood warning. Now, flash flooding means quick flooding. Flash, like I said, flash meaning quick, meaning like instant, sporadic. Flooding could occur here. So quick flooding can obviously be possible here between the state lines of West Virginia, and Kentucky. But this is in eastern Kentucky, by the way. So obviously flooding is not done yet across portions of Kentucky, as the conditions are still favorable of it. So we'll definitely continue watching it. And the thing that's bad is here's tomorrow's outlook here. You can actually see that all of Kentucky does indeed have a possible severe threat. So obviously, like I said, Kentucky's not done, and I'm actually in this yellow threat. I'm actually in the slight risk here. This is right around where I'm at, right where that little dot is. So I'm kind of towards the northern side. I'm literally right here in pretty much Louisville. So we are going to be live tomorrow as well to cover this here. But if the storm does get over here and if it does be severe, then I might need to go on, break. That's saying tomorrow if I do get hit by something. But like I said, I do end up planning on going live tomorrow for these storms here as well. So once again, my friends, just please be safe. Let's go see. Corey says 10 people are dead in Kentucky due to the last 4-day flood. Very, very unfortunate, and yes, we have seen tons and tons of flooding here. So, but yeah, so that is currently what is going on here, my friends. Like I said, obviously, Kentucky, you're not done yet. Like I said, obviously, flooding is still a big old concern here. So, the update on the storm here that is currently crossing its way here through the eastern side of North Carolina. We are still watching this here currently. Now, here's the thing. Severe thunderstorm warning still in effect here for areas here of Morehead City, portions of Emerald Isle, Havelock as well, Oriental included. So we are still watching this here as of right now. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So winds getting up to 70 miles per hour could be possible out of this storm here. Like I said, this is obviously some very, very destructive winds we are actually talking about here. So obviously, keep on lookout on that. So, we are expecting the possibility of some damaging winds to get up near hurricane force. Could be possible. It would be highly advised to be inside of your safe spot. Okay, so obviously get into that interior portion of your home. Obviously, that is where you want to be in a case like this. So, guys, just please be safe out there. And if you have any questions, guys, tag them down below. We got you guys covered here. So, like I said, we're definitely keeping our eyes out here. But yeah, so that is what we are seeing here. So let's go and take a look here at the update that is currently happening here in Minnesota. Let's go ahead and see what's happening here. So obviously, yes. So an update on the storms here. Obviously, they're getting more organized here. That's for sure. They're definitely getting a lot more organized. You can actually see directly now north of Minneapolis here. If we take a look here at the actual Minneapolis live camera, you can actually see. If we take a look here at it right now, we'll go ahead and wait for it to load here fully. But you can actually see, if we switch on over here to it now, that the conditions are actually, they're actually clouding up here. As you can obviously see here in the area here of St. Paul, which is Minneapolis, is currently really starting to kind of, cloud up here. So like I said, if we take a look here back at the main radar view, you can obviously tell here that we are seeing ourselves, obviously, the storms are actually increasing here. So we have ourselves, obviously something we got to watch out for. These lines we have got to watch out here very, very closely. So let's see. Corey says, gotta love Coca-Cola. Absolutely. Absolutely. Christian says the storm that you're tracking is, or that storm is very bad. It indeed is. And like I said, we definitely have got to continue keeping an eye on this storm here, my friends. And like I said, for the people who are just now joining us, obviously welcome. Glad to have you all here. And I'm obviously, thankful that you guys are here. Just thank you all for joining us today. I just want to go ahead and say, absolutely, thank you guys for being here. It's greatly, greatly appreciated. You guys absolutely rock here. But like I said, areas here of Oriental, Morehead City, definitely got to watch out for this because, like I said, there is a severe thunderstorm warning for 70 miles per hour, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and obviously nickel-sized hail could be possible. So that's actually a very, very serious situation we are talking about here. So some very, very large hail, or actually not really, I wouldn't say very, very large, I meant to say extreme winds and possible hail could be possible out of the storm here. But like I said, obviously, like I said, 0.88 inches is not considered severe, but like I said, it's getting there. It's definitely getting there. But like I said, obviously the main concern with this specific storm is those 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. But that is what we are seeing here. But yeah. Let's see here. Can I look at Wayland, Kentucky on the sky view just like I did in Minneapolis? Unfortunately, we don't have a camera in there. I actually tried looking at that earlier. For some reason, the live cameras are not really in those locations. It's kind of a hit or miss area here. Luckily, we have a Minneapolis cam, so if anything does actually happen across the way here, obviously we will be able to actually give you guys live views from Minneapolis here. But like I said, just now it's clouding up, but for the most part the storms are directly north of Minneapolis here as of right now. Now these are not severe warned. I want to go ahead and mention that these are not actually severe warned storms here. If we switch up to the Duluth radar here, kind of in the northeastern section of Minnesota here, you can actually see we do have a special weather statement here. Now that's actually different here. Obviously, like I said, this is obviously different from a severe thunderstorm warning. This is actually a special weather statement. So this is a strong storm, not a severe storm. So obviously severe being worse. So this is for portions here of Hibbing, directly basically west of Burrell, directly northeast of Nashwauk. So obviously this is for 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts, which is nothing in compared to that storm that's going on in North Carolina, and half-inch hail could be possible. So obviously, in regard to the damaging winds and the hail, or in regard to the winds and the hail, they're not classified as severe. So it's a strong storm, obviously. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's still a strong storm, but like I said, it's not a severe storm. So we're actually looking okay for right now. But like I said, these storms are in the environment where severe storms could actually exist here. So obviously that is a concern. And if you look here towards the mid-Atlantic, like I said, obviously we have ourselves a lot of special weather statements on currently ongoing here. Like I said, obviously severe weather is possible here as well. Across portions of the way. You can obviously see here between Virginia, being southern Virginia, as well as portions of a lot of North Carolina here. Actually currently seeing ourselves, a lot of pretty strong storms. Like I said, not really severe for some of these, or for most of these, but like I said, it's relatively strong. So that is kind of what we are talking about. Like I said, the only severe storm that we have going on here, this is a pretty nasty storm here we are talking about. For areas of Oriental, this is on the far eastern side of North Carolina for Morehead City, Havelock, and Oriental. These locations have definitely got to be in their place right now. Like I said, I obviously recommend being well away from windows at this point. Because obviously, like I said, damaging winds is a big concern out of these storms here as of right now. So definitely is a concern here. So guys, please be safe. If you know anyone across those locations, it is actually definitely quite crazy. So definitely, please just keep your eyes peeled for the storm. Like I said, this is not your average storm. This is actually a different breed of storm. Like I said, obviously with those wind gusts, maybe even getting up near hurricane force, which is definitely not good at all. So anyways, let's go ahead and see here. Twisted says, hello and thank you. You're very, very welcome. Just tuned in. Glad to have you here. Where exactly is this? Please, thanks. So, like I said, right here, here's the United States. You can obviously see currently going on here. So we're actually looking here in North Carolina. This is right around the Mid-Atlantic region. You can see here's North Carolina, and the big storm is right here on the far east central side of North Carolina currently. So we are actively seeing ourselves this storm for, like I said, areas of Oriental, Morehead, Newport, Havelock, Minnesota Beach as well. And like I said, this is not a normal storm here. This is actually a pretty nasty storm. And like I said, obviously damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour could be a possibility, which that's a pretty big deal. I'm not going to lie with you. That's actually a pretty big deal. So definitely, definitely be away from those windows. Because like I said, anything that's loose outside can easily be picked up. Like I said, easily be picked up by the winds here, which obviously can indeed become a danger to those outside. Do not be outside in this storm at all. You should not really be outside during any thunderstorm, but especially this one, you better get yourself indoors. Like I said, it would honestly, it would be the best if you go to your safe spot here. Anyways, let's go ahead and see here. But yeah, so that is kind of what we are actively watching here. Christian says, I'm kind of getting worried about Havelock, North Carolina. They're kind of getting hit here. So yeah, obviously, like I said, in Havelock, where we are watching here right now, I'd say the worst is usually happening probably happening right now, or happened a few moments ago. Usually it's that initial first gust that happens before, once that storm starts moving over. Like areas of Morehead City is likely seeing the worst of it right now. Now, like I said, Havelock is likely right now probably starting to lighten up. The precipitation, obviously, according to radar, is lighting up a little bit. It's more moderate rainfall now. But still, like I said, you are still in this warning, and you should still definitely be watching this here very, very closely. Anyways, let's see here. Dixie says, hello from Cheyenne Wells, Colorado. Well, obviously, welcome. Glad to have you here, my friend. Thank you for joining us today. Let's go ahead and see here. Corey says, does anyone have a tornado watch or warning? So here's the thing. Currently active. We do not have any severe watches or warning, or actually we have warnings, but we don't have any watches here currently. No tornado warnings, no tornado watches, no severe thunderstorm watches, which is obviously some good news as of right now. But like I said, I don't know if the National Weather Service has posted anything on a mesoscale discussion. So if you don't know what a mesoscale discussion is, it's basically what the National Weather Service does, or the Storm Prediction Center does, before they consider a severe thunderstorm watch. There you go, right there. So as you can see right here, this is what we call a mesoscale discussion. You can see how it highlights areas here in Minnesota and western Wisconsin. So this is basically saying, hey, a severe thunderstorm watch is possible. Now they have this probability of watch issuance only at a 40% chance. So this is basically saying we have a 40% chance over the next few hours that a severe thunderstorm watch could be issued for Minnesota in western Wisconsin. It's basically the watch before the watch. That's what I call it. it's the watch's watch, basically. So basically, they're considering, right? This is basically saying they're considering issuing a severe thunderstorm watch in this case. So definitely is something we got to watch out for. Severe risk could be increasing along portions of the central and south Minnesota into western Wisconsin this afternoon, early evening. Primary concerns are locally severe gusts and sporadic large hail. So obviously, that's basically saying obviously some damaging wind gusts and large hail could be possible. And look at this. Trends are being monitored for a possible watch. So that's basically saying we're continuing to watch this. We're considering issuing a severe thunderstorm watch. And like I said, right now, compared to what's currently happening here in Minnesota and western Wisconsin, yes, there is some storms that is ongoing here. Like I said, we were just looking at here directly now due north of Minneapolis. But like I said, these are not severe as of right now. These are not severe, so there's really no severe storms that's ongoing. Therefore, we don't need a severe thunderstorm watch as of yet. But like I said, as we're starting to move into the evening hours, the surface is being heated up to its maximum potential, the hottest time of the day. And obviously at that point, then the atmosphere is at its maximum potential of developing severe thunderstorms. So obviously, it's just because it's not developing any severe weather right now. Like I said, obviously that does not mean that it can't here further down the line. So definitely we got to continue watching this here. We're going to absolutely keep on watching this. So, but like I said, my friends, thank you all for joining us here for today. Hope you guys are doing all right. Let's see here. Janet says we are going to get severe weather Monday evening in southwestern Ohio. So here's the thing. If you take a look here towards Ohio, or sorry, that's not Ohio, that's Oklahoma. If you take a look here towards Ohio, actually, like I said, for today we're not expecting any severe weather, but tomorrow is going to be another day. And for me, even, I'm in this slight risk, this 2 out of 5 severe threat. We are going to be live for tomorrow as well. I'm not exactly sure what time. We'll figure all that out later on tonight. You'll see me post the the preview for the live stream for tomorrow later on tonight. So like I said, obviously tomorrow a decent severe weather day as well. Tomorrow's main concerns here are, where we are expecting potentially the worst severe weather is across central and northern Kentucky, central and southwestern Ohio, as well as basically southeastern Indiana here as well. So obviously that is kind of where we are expecting the big weather to happen tomorrow, but severe weather is possible anywhere across the dark green region as well. So a pretty decent threat stretching all the way from the Central Plains all the way up into the Ohio Valley and it's far down south towards the northern Tennessee Valley. So obviously that is kind of what we are looking at here. So let's see here. Okay, Brandy says, just thought I'd ask about St. Louis, Missouri. So here's the thing. Tomorrow, St. Louis does have, like I said, obviously tomorrow, St. Louis does have a severe threat. Like I said, it's basically basically it's just a low-end severe threat. But like I said, it's still a severe possibility. So tomorrow, we'll look out for a few severe storms being possible. Today, you're obviously nothing at all. So yeah, tomorrow is going to be your day on anything here. So there's that mesoscale discussion that has just now popped up on here. You can actually see here. You can actually see what's going on. So there is actually that mesoscale discussion across portions of the central, the east central, and southeastern side of Minnesota and the western side of Wisconsin. Like I said, this area that's circling right here, I'll go ahead and kind of show you exactly where this is at. Like I said, this circle that we're seeing right here, this is where they're considering issuing a severe thunderstorm watch here over the next few hours. Like I said, right now they just have it at a 40% chance probability, which is not really obviously it's kind of more likely to not happen than happen. But like I said, obviously it's something to watch out here for. Anyways, let's go ahead and see here. Let's go and see here. Stormy Cam says, is Chicago going to be hit? So, for today, Chicago is under no severe threat, no thunderstorm threat at all. Actually, no, I take that back. There is no severe threat, but there is a possibility of a shower or a thunderstorm that could happen. But like I said, severity, not really expected. Tomorrow, same thing, kind of expected. Maybe a few showers could be possible, or a few rumbles of thunder could happen. But honestly, nothing is severe expected for Chicago, so you're actually looking relatively okay here. So, let's go ahead and get an update here on the latest with this storm here. Here we go. We actually have some more reports coming in here from the coast here. This is actually non-severe wind gusts, though, but we have 45 mile per hour wind gusts being reported, 48, and a 49 mile per hour wind gusts here. So yeah, obviously that's still some pretty strong winds. I'm not going to lie with you. Obviously, that still can create some locally higher seas. or locally higher waves, obviously. So definitely, we are seeing obviously some damaging winds, or like I said, that's not considered damaging, but we have had some wind damage in the history of this storm. Has indeed happened here. And like I said, so for the areas here of Oriental, Morehead City, we are still watching you guys because we are still seeing a very, very strong storm that is currently moving its way through currently here at the moment. So, like I said, for areas of Havelock, Minnesota Beach, portions of Oriental included, this is definitely a pretty nasty storm that we are currently watching here. Like I said, obviously what is expected with this storm is potentially those damaging winds maybe getting up to 70 miles per hour. So the winds could gust up to 70 is definitely a possibility. And obviously hail to nickel size could be possible as well, which nickel size hail is not considered severe. I mean, it's getting close. It has to be quarter size to be considered severe, or 1 inch in diameter or larger to be classified as severe hail. But in this case, it's not considered severe, but like I said, those damaging winds are well inside of the severe realm. So obviously that is something that we definitely have got to watch out for. So once again, Oriental, Minnesota Beach as well, Morehead City, as well as Havelock. They said Havelock is definitely, their conditions, according to radar, is definitely improving, which is definitely some good news. But like I said, obviously it's something that, we still got to watch out for because you are still in that warning here. So obviously this warning does have a little bit to go here. We have 27 minutes for the one in Oriental in Morehead City, so we have a little bit to go here. So this will expire at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. This is into the Eastern Time Zone, so obviously we have ourselves, basically, like I said, basically 27 minutes to go before this does get canceled here. So that is kind of what we are watching here. David says, anything on Arkansas? So here's the thing, my friend. Across Arkansas for today, we're not expecting any severe weather. Tomorrow, not expecting anything either. Yeah, Arkansas, the state of Arkansas right here, we're not expecting any severe weather to occur. Now, here's the thing. For today, across the entire state, a few showers, a few storms could happen really over the next 3 days. I mean, it's a possibility you could see maybe a few showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder. But for the most part, my friends, obviously, I think that you're going to be relatively fine in regard to weather. In regard to weather here, obviously, like I said, obviously, anything severe is not expected here. Anyways, let's go and see. Brandy says, thank you. You're very welcome. Got you covered. Christian says, I'm covering the line of thunderstorms. Yeah, I am as well. Like I said, obviously, we got to keep on watching this here very, very closely. Dixie says, that's good. That is for sure. Eagle says, sweet. Well, yeah. So, obviously, like I said, areas here in Arkansas, obviously not expected to see anything anytime soon. So, we're looking pretty good here. So, but like I said, guys, if you have any questions, you know that we're here for you. Put them down in the chat here. We got you guys covered. If you're new to the channel, guys, consider hitting that subscribe button. It'll be greatly appreciated. You guys absolutely rock. Thank you all for being here. Thank you guys for hanging out with us here for today. And like I said, obviously, guys, if you do want to help out the channel, links are in the description, as well as they're actually pinned here in the chat. Got some pretty cool merch, as well as our, this shirt, this polo shirt I'm wearing is actually for sale on our shop. So if you guys want to check all that out, it's actually there pinned in the chat. So obviously, thank you guys for being here. Greatly, greatly appreciated. So, let's go ahead and take a look here on what's going on. So, like I said here, for today, we actually have ourselves a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect here. Actually, this is, wow, okay, this is actually new. So, we actually are now monitoring another severe thunderstorm warning here in southern Arizona. Directly pretty much due southeast of Phoenix. I'd say probably at least 100 miles. South here of Tucson, directly south of Green Valley here. So this is including portions of Interstate 19, the odd numbers being north and south here. So obviously that is kind of what we are watching here. So obviously, now the radar view is actually really not showing anything too crazy, which is actually kind of odd. Let's see where there's we're right here on this local radar, which is strange. But anyways, there is a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect here. It looks like it's mostly for rural areas here. Like I said, this is basically directly kind of just south and southwest or west of Green Valley. Pretty much just west of Green Valley here. But look at this. This is actually a very considerable storm here. So this is actually very, very nasty. So obviously, 70 mile per hour wind gusts is possible out of this storm as well. So winds getting up to 70 miles per hour could possibly happen out of this storm. Once again, this is in southern portions here of Arizona. And like I said, obviously wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour is possible. And like I said, 1.5 inch hail is also a possibility. And if you don't know the equivalent to that, that's actually ping pong ball size hail. So slightly a bit smaller than golf ball. slightly smaller than a golf ball. Here's obviously a golf ball here, and like I said, this is a quarter of an inch smaller than this golf ball here. So that is classified as very severe hail. So not only are you seeing those very strong winds, those destructive winds, but we're also seeing the mixture of hail. So you got some pretty large stones moving at pretty quick speeds, which obviously leads up to a big old mess. So obviously that's not good at all. So once again, this is across portions of southern, obviously southern Arizona here. Like I said, this is obviously including portions here of Interstate 19. So that is what we are looking at, my friends. So, but that is what we are watching here as of right now. We have a big old special marine warning here in Oregon. What's going on over here? Let's see. Big old storm here for John Day. Wow, look how big this polygon is. This is not a severe thunderstorm warning, by the way, y'all. This is just a special weather statement. So I guess they're kind of talking about this cluster of storms here. Could have some winds up to 40 miles per hour, which, like I said, is not classified as severe, which is not considered severe here. So obviously that is some good news. But yeah, obviously, guys, we still got to be watching out for these, for these storms here for today. So like I said, we are still monitoring these storms here in North Carolina. Along on the eastern side of North Carolina. Like I said, obviously we are watching this here very, very closely. This is also a very dangerous situation we are watching here. Like I said, obviously 70 mile per hour wind gusts, so winds getting up to 70 miles per hour could be possible. Obviously some hail could be possible as well, up to 0.88 inches or up to nickel size hail. I'm sure you guys have seen a nickel in your lifetime. So here's a nickel, obviously. And so obviously it's slightly smaller than quarter size. Now, quarter size hail is considered severe. Nickel size hail is not. But you can kind of see that the nickel right here is a little bit smaller than this quarter. So obviously this is about the size of the hail we are expecting. And also correlation with that 70 mile per hour wind gust that could be possible. Like I said, obviously with the wind gusts getting up to 70 miles per hour, that's obviously not good. Because obviously that's kind of talking up towards hurricane force wind gusts here. So obviously that is not really good at all. So definitely, my friends, please be safe out there. And then we have ourselves a lot of special marine warnings here in the blue polygons here, basically just to alert the boaters saying, hey, locally hazardous waves and locally hazardous seas can be be a problem here with the severe weather out of the severe storm here. Obviously where there's some strong winds, it can definitely alter the changes of the waves here. So obviously with sailboats out there as well, could just be a whole nightmare situation. So be recommended, if you haven't already, to go into harbor. Definitely would be a very good thing to do here. And obviously, as you can see, 0.75 inch hail is also expected. So that's actually the size of a penny. So I'm sure you guys have seen a penny as well. So penny size hail also in a correlation with 50 knot winds. So it's about 55 miles per hour. So kind of getting up towards that severity line, kind of right there towards that 60, almost near 60 mile per hour wind gust, could still be possible out there for the waters as well. So obviously that is a concern, especially for boaters. Like I said, it's definitely a big old concern. So, but once again, like I said, this is currently still crossing through Atlantic Beach in Morehead City. Currently getting lots of rain, I'm sure. Beaufort is about to get hit here as well. Let's see here. So Minnesota Beach currently getting hit as well. So like I said, with this storm, big damaging wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour is a possibility. So definitely keep our eyes out here for that here as of right now. So, but yeah, so that is actively what is going on here at the moment. Let's go switch on back here to the Minneapolis view. Let's see what is currently going on here. Like I said, areas here of Wells, Austin, Rochester, Red Wing, New Prague, I don't know how you pronounce that, Minneapolis, and a lot of these other areas here like Lindstorm, as well as portions of Little Falls. This is where the greatest severe weather threat is for today. This does include portions here of Interstate 35. Now we are watching this line of storms that is tracking its way here directly due east. As you can actually see, according to the latest scans, you can actually see there's more purple and more of the pinkish and blue kind of colors popping up. So that is actually signifying that these storms are likely strengthening as they're getting closer to Interstate 35 here. So obviously, with that being said, maybe obviously these things are starting to kind of get their kick on, and they might eventually actually go severe warning here. So obviously, we're going to keep our eyes out for this. Like I said, obviously the storms are really now starting to kind of form here across portions of Minnesota. And like I said, the national, the National Storm Prediction Center has actually issued a mesoscale discussion. Like I said, I'll go ahead and show you that right now. So this area where you see the circle here, across portions of Minnesota and the western side of, obviously, like I said, the western side here, Wisconsin. This is actually, like I said, this is what they do before they issue a severe thunderstorm watch or any form of watch. This is a mesoscale discussion. So they're actually considering issuing a watch here. They have the overall percentage on the actual site. If we go ahead and take a look at that here right now, you can see the overall percentage of it being issued is at a 40% chance probability. So we have a 40% chance that we could see a watch pop up here within the next hour or so. So I would say it's a possibility. Like I said, it's kind of more on the unlikely category since it's at a 40% chance, basically saying it's a 60% chance of not being issued. But it's near a half ordeal. It's kind of near a maybe-ish ordeal of maybe issuing a watch. So we'll just see. They're just basically monitoring these conditions here. They're watching the storms here, and like I said, obviously, we're just watching them to see what they do here. So obviously, like I said, they could go severe warning at any time because the environment is absolutely favorable for the severe weather here. If we take a look here, here's our instability values here. We can actually see if we draw this line, you can see right here. This is actually that cold front we are watching. All the winds are pushing down to the southwest from the north, and all the warm air coming up from the south, fueling in above. So obviously, this is the cold front is where the cold air overtakes the warmer air, and in this case, like I said, obviously, this is creating that instability that's needed for thunderstorms to fire off here. Really, anything over 500 value-wise is enough to allow for severe thunderstorms, and we're actually seeing these thunderstorms are actually the instability values here in the 2,000 range, which is a lot of instability. A lot. Think of it as fuel. Think you need like fuel for a car. This is basically fuel for the storms. Lots of potential fuel here. So obviously, that's not the concern. And obviously, with the winds here, obviously we are seeing ourselves. Obviously some pretty, I wouldn't say the best. I'd say okay wind shear, which is basically the engine for the storm. Basically, the winds are the engine for the storm, and the instability is the fuel. We have a pretty small engine today with a lot of fuel, basically, if that makes any sense. So obviously, but still, that could ultimately lead up to some severe weather being possible. So we have ourselves a new severe thunderstorm warning that has gotten issued here across portions of south central Virginia. Right here directly southeast of Roanoke. This is for areas here of South Boston, areas here of Clover, or pretty much west of Clover. Halifax as well, Scottsburg included, directly east here of Chatham. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning. Not as crazy as that one in North Carolina, but this is for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. That's the only reason it's severe is because of these winds here. So 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and penny-sized hail. So obviously hail getting up to the size of pennies could be a possibility. So obviously that is a possible scenario here, so watch out for that. So obviously, like I said, obviously 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-sized hail could be possible out of this storm here. So here's the thing. We're going to go ahead and switch to the Blacksburg radar. Another warning another special weather statement just got issued here. Let's actually go ahead and remove the special weather statements here so we can kind of classify what's a warning, what's not. But here, anyways, so here is the severe thunderstorm warning. You can kind of see right here, currently tracking down kind of to the east-southeast motion here for South Boston, portion of Halifax, portion of Scottsburg, and basically just west here of Clover. So this is currently what we are watching here at the moment. So obviously 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and penny-sized hail could be possible. Once again, this is across the south-central side of Virginia here. And obviously, as we move on down here to the southeast here, more into the Carolina region on the far eastern stretch of North Carolina, we have ourselves another severe thunderstorm warning that is currently kicking off here across portions of Newport, Havelock, Oriental as well. Like I said, Morehead City is likely getting slammed here right now. Definitely does appear to be so. So obviously, we are expecting out of this storm is actually worse than that Virginia storm. Like I said, obviously in this one, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts is possible. So obviously kind of pushing near hurricane force winds could be possible. And obviously, like I said, 0.88 inches. So obviously a little bit larger hail size as well, up to nickel size being possible. So with that storm in Virginia, we have penny size. With the storm in North Carolina, we have nickel size. So obviously, slight big difference in correlation could possibly happen here. So obviously, some hail, and obviously some damaging winds as well. So let's go ahead and see here. We got ourselves some more. Comments coming through here. Christian says, "Bring the dogs inside of the house. Storm is very dangerous." That's for sure. Let's see. Michael says, "Hello to all. Live in Pennsylvania. I love I love your live streams. Thank you for much you do. You're very, very welcome, Michael. Got you covered, my friend. Grace says, hi, what's up, Grace? Hope you're doing all right, my friend. Glad to have you here. Sharon says, good evening. Hurricane coming from Florida. There is no hurricane coming for Florida. We're looking all right as of right now. Let's see here. Wow, heavy wind, says Sharon. Yeah, absolutely. We are seeing ourselves some very, very strong winds that is likely being a possibility here across portions of eastern North Carolina. Like I said, this warning we have here is for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, which is actually quite nuts here. So obviously, my friends, just please to be on the lookout for the storms here for today, as they could definitely be violent, as we can obviously tell here. So obviously, extreme damaging winds is the main concern here. Also, like I said, obviously tornadoes is a kind of a last area threat. The main concern for today is obviously damaging winds. The second concern is hail, which hail is not really the main concern. Actually, there's really no hail threat for the mid-Atlantic here. As you can actually see, there's no hail threat. But there is a hail threat for the Midwest and the upper Midwest here. For example, for areas here in far eastern Nebraska, portions of central and northern Iowa as well, and a lot of central and eastern Minnesota, as well as portions of the western side of Wisconsin. So obviously, damaging hail is a possibility across those locations here. So that's kind of that secondary threat. And then obviously the last threat here is a tornado probability that is isolated mostly across the east central and southeastern side of Minnesota, as well as the western side of Wisconsin here. So that is kind of what we are watching. And like I said, we have ourselves another tornado possibility as well across the central and northern section of North Carolina, as well as southern Virginia as well. So that is kind of actively what we are watching here. So like I said, my friends, just please be safe out there. If you have any questions, like I said, we're going to be here for you guys. We're going to make sure that you guys stay up to date here. And once again, like I said, we have ourselves a new severe thunderstorm warning that has gotten issued for areas here directly east of Chatham. This does include portions of South Boston, as well as Halifax, as well as Scottsburg. So obviously this is a severe thunderstorm warning. Obviously not for as crazy conditions as the one here in the eastern side of North Carolina, but it is still a pretty strong storm with 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts being possible, as well as penny-sized hail. So obviously hail up to the size of pennies could be a possibility out of this storm here. So that is kind of what we are watching here. Let's see here. Christian says, I love your contact information. Well, obviously, I think I meant content. Anyways, you're very, very welcome, Christian. Let's see here. Grace says, I hope no tornadoes where I am. Well, Grace, like I said, tornadoes for today is quite unlikely. Okay, so honestly, I wouldn't really worry about it. Like I said, it can't be ruled out, though. But I wouldn't say it's nothing to worry. I would say it's really nothing to worry about too much. Now, if there is a warning that does get issued, we've already only had one warning, at least on the live stream here today. And if there is a warning that does get issued, you absolutely know that we're going to be here to cover it. Obviously, like I said, tornadoes are a very, very nasty thing here. We got ourselves a new severe thunderstorm warning here in effect here. This is for southern Arizona as well. Directly south of Tucson, south of Green Valley, directly west of Sierra Vista, for areas here of Patagonia. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, as well as quarter-size hail. So actually both severe in the hail realm and the severe wind realm. So obviously hail up to the size of quarters can now be a possibility with this storm here across portions of Patagonia. And obviously the winds up to 60 miles per hour as well is the possibility. So that is kind of actively what we are seeing here at the moment. So once again, my friends, please be safe out there. Like I said, obviously there really is no severe threat for these locations here, which is actually kind of interesting. Actually, I just now mentioned, I forgot that there was. But like I said, obviously it's for tornadoes anyways is not a concern here. This is mostly actually just for damaging winds. It's the only reason we actually have a severe threat for today across these locations here. So we have ourselves a report coming in here towards, let's see here, as at Casa Grande. This is actually a visibility, very, very low visibility here due to dust of less than a quarter of a mile due to blowing dust, apparently, from a train spotter. This was reported at 2:36 Pacific time. So this would have been 3:36 Mountain Time, 4:36 Central, and 5:36 Eastern. So this was obviously a little bit ago. But regardless, like I said, obviously, with some of those winds, you can obviously have some of that, some of those... absolutely some of those, some of those dusts be blowing all over the place here as well. Let's see here. Sharon says they need the rain, real dry Arizona. Like I said, a lot of places do need the rain, but not much of it. You obviously don't want to have tons of it in one different location. So obviously that is obviously that's not good. Because like I said, we are seeing a lot of active flooding across a lot of the Southwest. I mean, like even towards Las Vegas, we're seeing lots of flooding directly, mostly just south of Las Vegas. But like I said, it's been pretty nuts here. You see all these like polygons, these green polygons. These are all flash flood warnings, because we are expecting a lot of quick flash flooding to basically to occur, which is obviously a big deal. So obviously, my friends, please be safe out there across the Southwest. Like I said, we've already seen a video earlier on our Twitter feed. We can actually pull it back up here, of all the flooding that was actually ongoing here. This is actually here in Henderson, Nevada. We're going to switch on back here to the Twitter view. So here's a report that Devin has actually sent in to us. You can actually see, I mean, all the water that's on the roadways here. You can see the amount of flooding that's actually happening here is actually quite nuts, which is actually quite nuts here. So obviously, flooding is an occurring thing across a lot of the Southwest. Like I said, obviously for areas here of southern Nevada, areas here of basically western Arizona, as well as the far eastern, really kind of the east central, southeastern side of California, is where we are seeing a lot of flooding that is ongoing here. So once again, Devin, thank you for reporting this here to us. Greatly appreciate it, my friends. And like I said, if you guys do want to report any severe weather, tag us on Twitter at NWW1162. Once again, at NWW1162. It's at the bottom right-hand screen. You guys can see it right below my cursor here. It's right there. It's directly south here. Right on the far, very far southeastern, or I always say southeastern, bottom right-hand corner of the screen here. So basically the the reports here. So once again, at NWW1162. If you guys do want to follow us or submit any reports, that is how you do so. So let's go ahead and switch on back here, my friends. Let's go ahead and switch on back here. Let's go and take a look here at the current warning status. We don't have too much more time left on the severe thunderstorm warning for Oriental and Havelock, Morehead City as well. We only have 6 more minutes to go, so we basically have ourselves until 7 o'clock Eastern time before this does get canceled here. So we have a little bit to go. It's still warned for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts as well as nickel-size hail, so definitely still watch out for that. And like I said, also we have ourselves a new, relatively new, severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect here across portions of South Boston, for portions here west of Clover, as well as east of Chatham here. We are currently watching here. This is for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and 3/4-inch size hail. So obviously a little bit less compared to what is currently, a little bit less compared to what we were actually seeing there with that, with that one storm here in eastern North Carolina, obviously, but it is still classified as severe, in which we still have got to continue watching it here. Same thing for the areas here in southern, southern Arizona here. So obviously we have ourselves 2 of them. One that's actually pretty decent here for just basically west of Green Valley. Like I said, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and actually ping pong ball size hail. You get yourself some ping pong ball size hail moving at 70 miles per hour, you got yourself a problem, which is obviously not a good thing. So obviously that is what we are talking about. But anyways, guys, so that is actively what we are seeing here as of right now. So I think we're going to go ahead and head on to break here. I'm going to go ahead and grab my dinner here. Actually just got, my mom just texted me. I don't know if you guys heard that, but actually I have dinner I have to go eat really quickly. So if you guys are enjoying the live stream, consider leaving a like. If you are new, consider hitting that subscribe button while you guys are at it. If you guys do want to help us out on the channel, like I said, obviously we're playing with radar and stuff like that, we have ourselves our donation system here in the chat. If you see that little $sign right next to the chat, you guys can check that out. And if you guys do want to help us out, you obviously don't have to. Just you guys being here is more than enough. So just thank you guys for being here. Just, if you guys want to help us out with the radar equipment and stuff like that, it'd be greatly appreciated. We also have our merch and stuff like that down in the description, so you guys can check all that out as well. But anyways, guys, thank you all for being here. Greatly appreciated. So we are going to head off here for probably about a half hour. We'll probably be back here at 7:30, so expect us to be back here at 7:30 Eastern. We're just be taking a break here. That way I can go eat and kind of just take a moment to, kind of just rest my vocals, because I've been talking literally nonstop for 2 hours now. We've officially been live for 2 hours now, so obviously it gets to you after talking for a while. So like I said, guys, we're just going to take a small little break here, 30 minutes. We'll be back here relatively soon. I'm going to go ahead and go eat real quick, and then after that, we'll be back here. But guys, thank you all for joining us. Greatly appreciated, my friends. And alrighty, guys, we'll be back here in a little bit. Hang tight. Catch you guys here in a moment.
Stands at 19.26 inches. There were no heating degree days today. This leaves the monthly total at 0. The yearly total since July 1st is 0. There were 9 cooling degree days today. This brings the monthly total to 318. The yearly total since January 1st is 648. Today the maximum wind observed was 26 miles an hour from the south. The highest wind gust observed was 36 miles per hour from the south. The normal high temperature for tomorrow is 85 degrees, and the normal low is 64. The record high for tomorrow is 105, which occurred in 1988, and the record low is 49, which occurred in 1920. Sunset tonight is at 8:30 p.m. Sunrise tomorrow is at 5:54 a.m. You're listening to NOAA Weather Radio Station WXJ86 in La Crosse, or Station KGG95 in Winona. Broadcasts originate at the National Weather Service office in La Crosse, Wisconsin. The current time is 5:57 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 5 p.m. at La Crosse, it was partly sunny. The temperature was 81 degrees, the dew point 64, and the relative humidity 56%. The wind was south at 14 miles an hour. The pressure was 29.88 inches and falling. In Winona, it was fair. The temperature was 81 degrees, the dew point 70, and the relative humidity 69%. The wind was south at 7 miles an hour. The pressure was 29.87 inches and falling. Across the tri-state area, it was mostly sunny, with a temperature of 79 at Preston and 81 at Prairie du Chien. It was partly sunny, with a temperature of 82 at Sparta, 83 at Black River Falls, and 76 at Viroqua. Under partly sunny skies, Rochester reported 79, Camp Douglas reported 82, and Platteville reported 79. At Eau Claire, it was cloudy, with a temperature of 83. Elsewhere across the region, skies ranged from mostly sunny to partly sunny. It was 79 at Boscobel, 78 at Wisconsin Dells, 81 at Madison, and 79 at Dubuque. Waterloo reported 85, Mason City reported 84, and Minneapolis reported 86. And now a look at your forecast for the La Crosse area. Late this afternoon, mostly sunny. South winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. For tonight, partly cloudy with a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Lows in the mid-60s. Southwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Monday, mostly cloudy in the morning, then becoming mostly sunny. Highs in the lower 80s. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. For Monday night, mostly clear. Lows in the lower 60s. North winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, shifting to the east after midnight. Tuesday, mostly sunny. A 20% chance of showers in the morning. Highs in the upper 80s, southeast winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, highest heat index readings around 95 in the afternoon. Once again, the forecast for late this afternoon. Mostly sunny. South winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. You're listening to NOAA Weather Radio Station WXJ86 in La Crosse, or Station KGG95 in Winona. Broadcasts originate at the National Weather Service office in La Crosse, Wisconsin. The current time is 5:59 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 6 p.m. at La Crosse, it was partly sunny. The temperature was 82 degrees, the dew point 65, and the relative humidity 56%. The wind was south at 12 miles an hour, gusting to 22. The pressure was 29.86 inches and falling. In Winona, it was fair. The temperature was 81 degrees, the dew point 70, and the relative humidity 69%. The air was calm. The pressure was 29.86 inches and falling. Across the tri-state area, it was mostly sunny, with a temperature of 79 at Preston and 82 at Prairie du Chien. It was partly sunny, with a temperature of 82 at Black River Falls, 79 at Viroqua, and 78 at Camp Douglas. At Rochester, it was cloudy, with a temperature of 77. At Platteville, it was fair, with a temperature of 79. Elsewhere across the region, at Mason City, it was sunny, with a temperature of 84. It was mostly sunny, with a temperature of 81 at Boscobel, 79 at Dubuque, and 85 at Waterloo. It was partly sunny, with a temperature of 77 at Wisconsin Dells, 80 at Madison, and 83 at Minneapolis. Now here is the hazardous weather outlook for portions of southeast Minnesota, northeast Iowa and southwest into central Wisconsin. For today and tonight, scattered storms are expected tonight. A few could be strong, potentially severe, mostly across portions of southeast Minnesota. Hail and strong wind gusts are the main threats. And now the extended outlook for the period Monday through Saturday. More storms are possible Wednesday. It's too early to discern if there would be a severe risk. Hot conditions are likely for the middle part of the week with afternoon heat indices in the 90s to around 100 degrees. Spotter information statement, no action needed. Emergency management coordination, no webinar is scheduled. And now a look at your forecast for the La Crosse area. Tonight, mostly cloudy with showers likely and a chance of thunderstorms in the evening, then partly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms after midnight. Lows in the mid-60s. South winds 10 to 15 miles an hour shifting to the west 5 to 10 miles an hour after midnight. Chance of precipitation 70%. For Monday, mostly cloudy in the morning then becoming mostly sunny. Highs in the lower 80s, northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour Monday night. Mostly clear. Lows in the lower 60s, north winds 5 to 10 miles an hour shifting to the east after midnight. For Tuesday, mostly sunny. A 20% chance of showers in the morning. Highs in the upper 80s, southeast winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, highest heat index readings around 95 in the afternoon. Once again, the forecast for tonight. Mostly cloudy with showers likely and a chance of thunderstorms in the evening, then partly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms after midnight. Lows in the mid-60s, south winds 10 to 15 miles an hour shifting to the west 5 to 10 miles an hour after midnight. Chance of precipitation 70%. Taking a look at the 4 through 7 day forecast for the La Crosse area. Tuesday night, warmer. Partly cloudy in the evening, then mostly cloudy with a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms after midnight. Lows in the mid-70s. South winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. For Wednesday, mostly cloudy in the morning then becoming mostly sunny. A 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Highs around 90. Heat index readings around 95. Wednesday night, cooler. Mostly clear. Lows in the lower 60s. For Thursday, mostly sunny. Highs in the lower 80s. Thursday night, clear. Lows in the upper 50s. For Friday, mostly sunny. Highs in the lower 80s. Friday night, partly cloudy. Lows in the lower 60s. For Saturday, mostly sunny. Highs in the upper 80s. Saturday night, partly cloudy with a 20% chance of showers. Lows in the upper 60s. For Sunday, mostly sunny with a 20% chance of showers. Highs around 90. Highest heat index readings around 95 in the afternoon. You're listening to NOAA Weather Radio Station WXJ86 in La Crosse, or Station KGG95 in Winona. Broadcasts originate at the National Weather Service Office in La Crosse, Wisconsin. The current time is 6:04 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 6 p.m. at La Crosse, it was partly sunny. The temperature was 82 degrees, the dew point 65, and the relative humidity 56%. The wind was south at 12 miles an hour, gusting to 22. The pressure was 29.86 inches and falling. In Winona, it was fair. The temperature was 81 degrees, the dew point 70, and the relative humidity 69%. The air was calm. The pressure was 29.86 inches and falling. Across the tri-state area, it was mostly sunny, with a temperature of 79 at Preston and 82 at Prairie du Chien. It was partly sunny, with a temperature of 82 at Black River Falls, 79 at Viroqua, and 78 at Camp Douglas. At Rochester, it was cloudy, with a temperature of 77. At Plaqueville, it was fair, with a temperature of 79. Elsewhere across the region, at Mason City, it was sunny, with a temperature of 84. It was mostly sunny, with a temperature of 81 at Boscobel, 79 at Dubuque, and 85 at Waterloo. It was partly sunny, with a temperature of 77 at Wisconsin Dells, 80 at Madison, and 83 at Minneapolis. The La Crosse, Wisconsin climate summary for this evening, as of 4 p.m., July 31, 2022. Today's high temperature was 86 degrees and the low 62 degrees. No precipitation fell today, which leaves the monthly total at 3.88 inches. The total precipitation for the year still stands at 19.26 inches. There were no heating degree days today. This leaves the monthly total at 0. The yearly total since July 1st is 0. There were 9 cooling degree days today. This brings the monthly total to 318. The yearly total since January 1st is 648. Today the maximum wind observed was 26 miles an hour from the south. The highest wind gust observed was 36 miles per hour from the south. The normal high temperature for tomorrow is 85 degrees, and the normal low is 64. The record high for tomorrow is 105, which occurred in 1988, and the record low is 49, which occurred in 1920. Sunset tonight is at 8:30 p.m. Sunrise tomorrow is at 5:54 a.m. And now a look at your forecast for the La Crosse area. Tonight, mostly cloudy with showers likely and a chance of thunderstorms in the evening, then partly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms after midnight. Lows in the mid-60s. South winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, shifting to the west 5 to 10 miles an hour after midnight. Chance of precipitation 70%. For Monday, mostly cloudy in the morning, then becoming mostly sunny. Highs in the lower 80s, northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour Monday night. Mostly clear. Lows in the lower 60s, north winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, shifting to the east after midnight. For Tuesday, mostly sunny. A 20% chance of showers in the morning. Highs in the upper 80s, southeast winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, highest heat index readings around 95 in the afternoon. Once again, the forecast for tonight. Mostly cloudy with showers likely and a chance of thunderstorms in the evening, then partly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms after midnight. Lows in the mid-60s, south winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, shifting to the west 5 to 10 miles an hour after midnight. Chance of precipitation 70%. You're listening to NOAA Weather Radio Station WXJ86 in La Crosse, or Station KGG95 in Winona. Broadcasts originate at the National Weather Service office in La Crosse, Wisconsin. The current time is 6:08 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 6 p.m. at La Crosse, it was partly sunny. The temperature was 82 degrees, the dew point 65, and the relative humidity 56%. The wind was south at 12 miles an hour, gusting to 22. The pressure was 29.86 inches and falling. In Winona, it was fair. The temperature was 81 degrees, the dew point 70, and the relative humidity 69%. The air was calm. The pressure was 29.86 inches and falling. Across the tri-state area, it was mostly sunny, with a temperature of 79 at Preston and 82 at Prairie du Chien. It was partly sunny, with a temperature of 82 at Black River Falls, 79 at Viroqua, and 78 at Camp Douglas. At Rochester, it was cloudy, with a temperature of 77. At Platteville, it was fair, with a temperature of 79. Elsewhere across the region, at Mason City, it was sunny, with a temperature of 84. It was mostly sunny, with a temperature of 81 at Boscobel, 79 at Dubuque, and 85 at Waterloo. It was partly sunny, with a temperature of 77 at Wisconsin Dells, 80 at Madison, and 83 at Minneapolis. At 6 p.m. at La Crosse, it was partly sunny. The temperature was 82 degrees, the dew point 65, and the relative humidity 56%. The wind was south at 12 miles an hour, gusting to 22. The pressure was 29.86 inches and falling. In Winona, it was partly sunny. The temperature was 81 degrees, the dew point 68, and the relative humidity 65%. The wind was south at 6 miles an hour. The pressure was 29.85 inches and falling. Across the tri-state area, it was mostly sunny, with a temperature of 79 at Viroqua, 82 at Eau Claire, 78 at Preston, and 82 at Prairie du Chien. It was partly sunny, with a temperature of 78 at Sparta, 81 at Black River Falls, and 78 at Camp Douglas. At Rochester, it was cloudy, with a temperature of 77. At Platteville, it was fair, with a temperature of 79. Elsewhere across the region, it was sunny, with a temperature of 79 at Dubuque, and 84 at Mason City. It was mostly sunny, with a temperature of 81 at Boscobel, and 85 at Waterloo. It was partly sunny, with a temperature of 77 at Wisconsin Dells, 80 at Madison, and 83 at Minneapolis. And now a look at your forecast for the La Crosse area. Tonight, mostly cloudy with showers likely and a chance of thunderstorms in the evening, then partly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms after midnight. Lows in the mid-60s. South winds 10 to 15 miles an hour shifting to the west 5 to 10 miles an hour after midnight. Chance of precipitation 70%. For Monday, mostly cloudy in the morning then becoming mostly sunny. Highs in the lower 80s, northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour Monday night. Mostly clear. Lows in the lower 60s, north winds 5 to 10 miles an hour shifting to the east after midnight. For Tuesday, mostly sunny. A 20% chance of showers in the morning. Highs in the upper 80s, southeast winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, highest heat index readings around 95 in the afternoon. Once again, the forecast for tonight. Mostly cloudy with showers likely and a chance of thunderstorms in the evening, then partly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms after midnight. Lows in the mid-60s, south winds 10 to 15 miles an hour shifting to the west 5 to 10 miles an hour after midnight. Chance of precipitation 70%. You're listening to NOAA Weather Radio Station WXJ86 in La Crosse, or Station KGG95 in Winona. Broadcasts originate at the National Weather Service office in La Crosse, Wisconsin. The current time is 6:13 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 6 p.m. at La Crosse, it was partly sunny. The temperature was 82 degrees, the dew point 65, and the relative humidity 56%. The wind was south at 12 miles an hour, gusting to 22. The pressure was 29.86 inches and falling. In Winona, it was partly sunny. The temperature was 81 degrees, the dew point 68, and the relative humidity 65%. The wind was south at 6 miles an hour. The pressure was 29.85 inches and falling. Across the tri-state area, it was mostly sunny, with a temperature of 79 at Viroqua, 82 at Eau Claire, 78 at Preston, and 82 at Prairie du Chien. It was partly sunny, with a temperature of 78 at Sparta, 81 at Black River Falls, and 78 at Camp Douglas. At Rochester, it was cloudy, with a temperature of 77. At Platteville, it was fair, with a temperature of 79. Elsewhere across the region, it was sunny, with a temperature of 79 at Dubuque, and 84 at Mason City. It was mostly sunny, with a temperature of 81 at Boscobel, and 85 at Waterloo. It was partly sunny, with a temperature of 77 at Wisconsin Dells, 80 at Madison, and 83 at Minneapolis. And now a look at your forecast for the La Crosse area. Tonight, mostly cloudy with showers likely and a chance of thunderstorms in the evening, then partly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms after midnight. Lows in the mid-60s. South winds 10 to 15 miles an hour shifting to the west 5 to 10 miles an hour after midnight. Chance of precipitation 70%. For Monday, mostly cloudy in the morning then becoming mostly sunny. Highs in the lower 80s, northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour Monday night. Mostly clear. Lows in the lower 60s, north winds 5 to 10 miles an hour shifting to the east after midnight. For Tuesday, mostly sunny. A 20% chance of showers in the morning. Highs in the upper 80s, southeast winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, highest heat index readings around 95 in the afternoon. Once again, the forecast for tonight. Mostly cloudy with showers likely and a chance of thunderstorms in the evening, then partly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms after midnight. Lows in the mid-60s, south winds 10 to 15 miles an hour shifting to the west 5 to 10 miles an hour after midnight. Chance of precipitation 70%. Taking a look at the 4 through 7 day forecast for the La Crosse area. Tuesday night, warmer. Partly cloudy in the evening, then mostly cloudy with a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms after midnight. Lows in the mid-70s. South winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. For Wednesday, mostly cloudy in the morning, then becoming mostly sunny. A 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Highs around 90. Heat index readings around 95. Wednesday night, cooler. Mostly clear. Lows in the lower 60s. For Thursday, mostly sunny. Highs in the lower 80s. Thursday night, clear. Lows in the upper 50s. For Friday, mostly sunny. Highs in the lower 80s. Friday night, partly cloudy. Lows in the lower 60s. For Saturday, mostly sunny. Highs in the upper 80s. Saturday night, partly cloudy with a 20% chance of showers. Lows in the upper 60s. For Sunday, mostly sunny with a 20% chance of showers. Highs around 90. Highest heat index readings around 95 in the afternoon. The La Crosse, Wisconsin climate summary for this evening, as of 4 p.m., July 31, 2022. Today's high temperature was 86 degrees and the low 62 degrees. No precipitation fell today, which leaves the monthly total at 3.88 inches. The total precipitation for the year still stands at 19.26 inches. There were no heating degree days today. This leaves the monthly total at 0. The yearly total since July 1st is 0. There were 9 cooling degree days today. This brings the monthly total to 318. The yearly total since January 1st is 648. Today the maximum wind observed was 26 miles an hour from the south. The highest wind gust observed was 36 miles per hour from the south. The normal high temperature for tomorrow is 85 degrees, and the normal low is 64. The record high for tomorrow is 105, which occurred in 1988, and the record low is 49, which occurred in 1920. Sunset tonight is at 8:30 p.m. Sunrise tomorrow is at 5:54 a.m. You're listening to NOAA weather radio station WXJ86 in La Crosse, or station KGG95 in Winona. Broadcasts originate at the National Weather Service office in La Crosse, Wisconsin. The current time is 6:18 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 6 p.m. at La Crosse, it was partly sunny. The temperature was 82 degrees, the dew point 65, and the relative humidity 56%. The wind was south at 12 miles an hour, gusting to 22. The pressure was 29.86 inches and falling. In Winona, it was partly sunny. The temperature was 81 degrees, the dew point 68, and the relative humidity 65%. The wind was south at 6 miles an hour. The pressure was 29.85 inches and falling. Across the tri-state area, it was mostly sunny, with a temperature of 79 at Viroqua, 82 at Eau Claire, 78 at Preston, and 82 at Prairie du Chien. It was partly sunny, with a temperature of 78 at Sparta, 81 at Black River Falls, and 78 at Camp Douglas. At Rochester, it was cloudy, with a temperature of 77. At Platteville, it was fair, with a temperature of 79. Elsewhere across the region, it was sunny, with a temperature of 79 at Dubuque, and 84 at Mason City. It was mostly sunny, with a temperature of 81 at Boscobel, and 85 at Waterloo. It was partly sunny, with a temperature of 77 at Wisconsin Dells, 80 at Madison, and 83 at Minneapolis. And now a look at your forecast for the La Crosse area. Tonight, mostly cloudy with showers likely and a chance of thunderstorms in the evening, then partly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms after midnight. Lows in the mid-60s. South winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, shifting to the west 5 to 10 miles an hour after midnight. Chance of precipitation 70%. For Monday, mostly cloudy in the morning, then becoming mostly sunny. Highs in the lower 80s, northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour Monday night. Mostly clear. Lows in the lower 60s, north winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, shifting to the east after midnight. For Tuesday, mostly sunny. A 20% chance of showers in the morning. Highs in the upper 80s, southeast winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, highest heat index readings around 95 in the afternoon. Once again, the forecast for tonight. Mostly cloudy with showers likely and a chance of thunderstorms in the evening, then partly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms after midnight. Lows in the mid-60s, south winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, shifting to the west 5 to 10 miles an hour after midnight. Chance of precipitation 70%. You're listening to NOAA Weather Radio Station WXJ86 in La Crosse, or Station KGG95 in Winona. Broadcasts originate at the National Weather Service office in La Crosse, Wisconsin. The current time is 6:21 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 6 p.m. at La Crosse, it was partly sunny. The temperature was 82 degrees, the dew point 65, and the relative humidity 56%. The wind was south at 12 miles an hour, gusting to 22. The pressure was 29.86 inches and falling. In Winona, it was partly sunny. The temperature was 81 degrees, the dew point 68, and the relative humidity 65%. The wind was south at 6 miles an hour. The pressure was 29.85 inches and falling. Across the tri-state area, it was mostly sunny, with a temperature of 79 at Viroqua, 82 at Eau Claire, 78 at Preston, and 82 at Prairie du Chien. It was partly sunny, with a temperature of 78 at Sparta, 81 at Black River Falls, and 78 at Camp Douglas. At Rochester, it was cloudy, with a temperature of 77. At Platteville, it was fair, with a temperature of 79. Elsewhere across the region, it was sunny, with a temperature of 79 at Dubuque, and 84 at Mason City. It was mostly sunny, with a temperature of 81 at Boscobel, and 85 at Waterloo. It was partly sunny, with a temperature of 77 at Wisconsin Dells, 80 at Madison, and 83 at Minneapolis. And now a look at your forecast for the La Crosse area. Tonight, mostly cloudy with showers likely and a chance of thunderstorms in the evening, then partly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms after midnight. Lows in the mid-60s. South winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, shifting to the west 5 to 10 miles an hour after midnight. Chance of precipitation 70%. For Monday, mostly cloudy in the morning, then becoming mostly sunny. Highs in the lower 80s, northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour Monday night. Mostly clear. Lows in the lower 60s, north winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, shifting to the east after midnight. For Tuesday, mostly sunny. A 20% chance of showers in the morning. Highs in the upper 80s, southeast winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, highest heat index readings around 95 in the afternoon. Once again, the forecast for tonight. Mostly cloudy with showers likely and a chance of thunderstorms in the evening, then partly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms after midnight. Lows in the mid-60s, south winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, shifting to the west 5 to 10 miles an hour after midnight. Chance of precipitation 70%. You're listening to NOAA Weather Radio Station WXJ86 in La Crosse, or Station KGG95 in Winona. Broadcasts originate at the National Weather Service office in La Crosse, Wisconsin. The current time is 6:24 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 6 p.m. at La Crosse, it was partly sunny. The temperature was 82 degrees, the dew point 65, and the relative humidity 56%. The wind was south at 12 miles an hour, gusting to 22. The pressure was 29.86 inches and falling. In Winona, it was partly sunny. The temperature was 81 degrees, the dew point 68, and the relative humidity 65%. The wind was south at 6 miles an hour. The pressure was 29.85 inches and falling. Across the tri-state area, it was mostly sunny, with a temperature of 79 at Viroqua, 82 at Eau Claire, 78 at Preston, and 82 at Prairie du Chien. It was partly sunny, with a temperature of 78 at Sparta, 81 at Black River Falls, and 78 at Camp Douglas. At Rochester, it was cloudy, with a temperature of 77. At Platteville, it was fair, with a temperature of 79. Elsewhere across the region, it was sunny, with a temperature of 79 at Dubuque, and 84 at Mason City. It was mostly sunny, with a temperature of 81 at Boscobel and 85 at Waterloo. It was partly sunny, with a temperature of 77 at Wisconsin Dells, 80 at Madison, and 83 at Minneapolis. The La Crosse, Wisconsin climate summary for this evening, as of 4 p.m., July 31, 2022. Today's high temperature was 86 degrees and the low 62 degrees. No precipitation fell today, which leaves the monthly total at 3.88 inches. The total precipitation for the year still stands at 19.26 inches. There were no heating degree days today. This leaves the monthly total at 0. The yearly total since July 1st is 0. There were 9 cooling degree days today. This brings the monthly total to 318. The yearly total since January 1st is 648. Today the maximum wind observed was 26 miles an hour from the south. The highest wind gust observed was 36 miles per hour from the south. The normal high temperature for tomorrow is 85 degrees, and the normal low is 64. The record high for tomorrow is 105, which occurred in 1988, and the record low is 49, which occurred in 1920. Sunset tonight is at 8:30 p.m. Sunrise tomorrow is at 5:54 a.m. And now a look at your forecast for the La Crosse area. Tonight, mostly cloudy with showers likely and a chance of thunderstorms in the evening, then partly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms after midnight. Lows in the mid-60s. South winds 10 to 15 miles an hour shifting to the west 5 to 10 miles an hour after midnight. Chance of precipitation 70%. For Monday, mostly cloudy in the morning then becoming mostly sunny. Highs in the lower 80s, northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour Monday night. Mostly clear. Lows in the lower 60s, north winds 5 to 10 miles an hour shifting to the east after midnight. For Tuesday, mostly sunny. A 20% chance of showers in the morning. Highs in the upper 80s, southeast winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, highest heat index readings around 95 in the afternoon. Once again, the forecast for tonight. Mostly cloudy with showers likely and a chance of thunderstorms in the evening, then partly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms after midnight. Lows in the mid-60s, south winds 10 to 15 miles an hour shifting to the west 5 to 10 miles an hour after midnight. Chance of precipitation 70%. You're listening to NOAA Weather Radio Station WXJ86 in La Crosse, or Station KGG95 in Winona. Broadcasts originate at the National Weather Service office in La Crosse, Wisconsin. The current time is 6:28 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 6 p.m. at La Crosse, it was partly sunny. The temperature was 82 degrees, the dew point 65, and the relative humidity 56%. The wind was south at 12 miles an hour, gusting to 22. The pressure was 29.86 inches and falling. In Winona, it was partly sunny. The temperature was 81 degrees, the dew point 68, and the relative humidity 65%. The wind was south at 6 miles an hour. The pressure was 29.85 inches and falling. Across the tri-state area, it was mostly sunny, with a temperature of 79 at Viroqua, 82 at Eau Claire, 78 at Preston, and 82 at Prairie du Chien. It was partly sunny, with a temperature of 78 at Sparta, 81 at Black River Falls, and 78 at Camp Douglas. At Rochester, it was cloudy, with a temperature of 77. At Plaqueville, it was fair, with a temperature of 79. Elsewhere across the region, it was sunny, with a temperature of 79 at Dubuque, and 84 at Mason City. It was mostly sunny, with a temperature of 81 at Boscobel, and 85 at Waterloo. It was partly sunny, with a temperature of 77 at Wisconsin Dells, 80 at Madison, and 83 at Minneapolis. Taking a look at the 4 through 7 day forecast for the La Crosse area. Tuesday night. Warmer. Partly cloudy in the evening, then mostly cloudy with a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms after midnight. Lows in the mid-70s. South winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. For Wednesday, mostly cloudy in the morning, then becoming mostly sunny. A 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Highs around 90. Heat index readings around 95. Wednesday night. Cooler. mostly clear. Lows in the lower 60s. For Thursday, mostly sunny. Highs in the lower 80s. Thursday night, clear. Lows in the upper 50s. For Friday, mostly sunny. Highs in the lower 80s. Friday night, partly cloudy. Lows in the lower 60s. For Saturday, mostly sunny. Highs in the upper 80s. Saturday night, partly cloudy with a 20% chance of showers. Lows in the upper 60s. For Sunday, mostly sunny with a 20% chance of showers. Highs around 90. Highest heat index readings around 95 in the afternoon. Now here is the hazardous weather outlook for portions of southeast Minnesota, northeast Iowa and southwest into central Wisconsin. For today and tonight, scattered storms are expected tonight. A few could be strong, potentially.
Alrighty, guys, we are back here after the break. Hope you guys are doing all right. Glad to have you guys here back again. Yeah, sorry about that. We were just taking ourselves a break because we've been live for over 2 hours now. And so, I think it was about time that we took ourselves a break because, after talking for a long time, believe it or not, it does really get to you. And it really does, it definitely gets to you, that's for sure. But anyways, guys, we got some good news here. It looks like that one severe storm we were watching is now gone. Honestly, we really don't have too much going on here at the moment. We only have one active severe thunderstorm warning, and this severe thunderstorm warning is the one that we were watching here across portions of south central Virginia. So this is actually that one severe thunderstorm warning we were actually watching here. So for areas here of Halifax, as well as portions of Scottsburg, as well as South Boston, we actually still have a severe thunderstorm warning that is in place here for 12 more minutes. We have until 7:45 Eastern time. For the people who follow along the Central Time, this would be 6:45 Eastern Time, 6:45 Central Time here. So obviously we are watching this here currently. This is across the far south central side of Virginia here. This is basically directly southeast of Roanoke, directly due east of, pretty much just due east of Blacksburg, Virginia, and southwest here of Richmond. So this is right here on the very far south central side of Virginia we are currently watching here. So, now here's the plan, my friends. I don't know how much longer we are going to be live here for today. I mean, honestly, I would have expected these storms to have really kicked off by this point. Obviously, them not kicking off here is actually a good thing, and obviously that is definitely a good thing. So, honestly, there's really not much too crazy that is ongoing here anymore. The craziest thing that we have seen all day was that 70-mile-per-hour wind gust storm that was right there on the eastern side of North Carolina. That was probably the worst that we've seen. I'm actually going to turn off this light here. I kind of like it darker. Regardless, anyways, so like I said, that's kind of the worst storm that we did see today was the one that was across portions of, North Carolina there. So obviously, like I said, that storm is relatively mostly over for the most part. It is now moving off into the water, so you can obviously tell here. But there is no more active severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect here for the eastern side here of North Carolina. That is no longer in place, so that's obviously some good news. But like I said, the only severe thunderstorm warning that we do have in effect here still is the one across south central Virginia, across portions of Halifax, portions of Scottsburg, as well as South Boston. That is where the last severe thunderstorm warning remains here. Like I was saying here, we had the Storm Prediction Center put a mesoscale discussion out a little bit ago concerning a possible severe thunderstorm watch across portions of Minnesota as well as Wisconsin, and they lifted it. They lifted the mesoscale discussion. So what that means is that they're probably not going to issue a watch out of this here. So they're probably not going to. They had it at a 40% chance, and it's already been a few hours, and they got rid of the mesoscale discussion. So I don't think that is going to happen, which is obviously some great news. Definitely some good news. But here's the thing, my friends. Honestly, I think that this severe weather event was a bust. I really think that this was a event that did not play out to its standards, did not play out to what it was forecasted for, which is obviously some very, very good news. And in that case, like I said, my friends, honestly, I think we might end the live stream here relatively soon. We're probably going to end it around 8 o'clock So this will be in about, a little bit less than a half hour, about 24 minutes or so. We're going to head off here. Like I said, we just have actually now 2 severe thunderstorm warnings here. We actually have one here in east of Reading. But for the most part, this is actually only for hail, by the way, next to Susanville. But regardless, like I said, for the main event here for today, it really looks like we had ourselves a bust here, which is obviously for the good news. It's for the best here, because like I said, obviously all types of severe weather are possible. Now, like I said, there is still the severe risk that is in effect here. The severe risk is still there. But like I said, it's really not as bad as, we were forecasting it to happen right now. I mean, like right now, we can obviously tell that there is a lot more storm action that is ongoing. But like I said, I mean, honestly, for the most part, this is relatively sub-severe. We actually do have ourselves a special marine warning, or sorry, special weather statement. Anyways, it's in effect for one of these cells in Minnesota, but this is under the severe criteria. This is across portions of Pine City. The storm is relatively past Pine City and Rock Creek, but areas of Grantsburg is actually about to get hit by this storm. It's actually currently getting hit, but you're about to get the worst of it relatively here soon. So, but here's the thing, my friend. Like I said, this expires here in 22 minutes. This is a sub-severe storm. This is for 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. The winds could get up to 50 miles per hour at one given point, as well as the hail could get up to basically half-inch size. So basically, a half an inch of hail is equivalent, I believe, to dime-size hail. So we can obviously pull out our dime here. So basically, we are expecting very, very small dime-sized hail that could be possible out of this storm here. Once again, this is kind of right here just northeast of Minneapolis, on the far eastern side of Interstate 35, right between Rush City and Hickney, Hickney. I think I say pronounce that. Basically right here in Pine City. But like I said, Pine City and Rock Creek have already dealt with the worst of the storm here. It's only areas here now of Grantsburg that is currently getting hit by it. And like I said, half-inch hail is possible, and obviously some wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour can exist. And like I said, this is not a severe thunderstorm warning. We have ourselves another one up here just for 40-mile-per-hour winds and one quarter of an inch size hail being possible here for areas of Virginia, not the state. This is in far northeastern Minnesota. For Virginia, portions of Hyatt Lakes, I think you pronounce it, directly south of Babbitt, northeast of Floodwood. So obviously, that is kind of actively what we are watching here. This is far from being severe on that one. But like I said, the only crazy stuff we're seeing here right now is really, all that's going on right now. For the most part, it did not really materialize as we did think it would be. Obviously, we can still see some severe storms. I could definitely say that is still a very big possibility that we could still see some severe storms for today. But honestly, I feel like I really feel like that coverage, is really not necessary in regard to things here. Because since how long it took to really fire off here, we were expecting a lot of those storms. According to the Storm Prediction Center and based off of models and stuff like that, we were expecting those storms to have already been well underway for the last several hours now, in which they are still not severe. But like I said, we have seen some severe weather. It's honestly been a bit more severe here in the Mid-Atlantic region versus the Midwest here for today, and the coverage so far that we've done here. Like I said, the only really decent severe weather we actually have currently going on here is across the far south central side of Virginia, where we do have an active severe thunderstorm warning. We have 5 minutes to go, so basically until 7:45. Across portions here of Halifax. For the most part, Halifax is mostly out of this. They've already probably experienced the worst of it. However, South Boston, Scottsburg, you're still getting hit pretty hard here as of right now. But like I said, this is a severe thunderstorm warning that expires here in 5 minutes. And this is for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts as well as 3/4-inch size hail. So that is kind of actively what we are watching here at the moment. Let's see, tornado analysis here says, I'm here, just got back from D.C. and went through Prince William County. That's my home county, by the way. Well, tornado analysis, well, glad to hear from you, my friend, and that's pretty crazy that you went through Prince William. I'm assuming you went, through Manassas and stuff. Absolutely pretty crazy. Let's see here. Megan wants to know, is 244.77 okay? So here's the thing. Across the location there, for severe weather, we're not really expecting any severe weather for you. There's a possibility we could see a few rumbles of thunder, or hear a few rumbles of thunder with a few showers being possible. I mean, we can obviously tell here across portions of the Blue Ridge on the pretty much far western side, the central side of the Blue Ridge here. You can kind of tell right around this area where you're talking about is relatively fine. It's relatively okay. We're just seeing some moderate rainfall, maybe a few rumbles of thunder, but for the most part, the severe weather is mostly just to the south. We're not really expecting any of that severe weather to continue or to really occur across those locations. However, on the far southern edge of Virginia, basically near Danville and areas like that, like I said, we have an active severe thunderstorm warning. Now, obviously, there is a possibility of a few severe storms here across the location there for today. But honestly, for the most part, my friends, this is really not as crazy as, as was forecasted, which is obviously some great news. Another severe thunderstorm warning all the way down in the southwest here in Arizona. Very, very far south central side. We don't want to zoom in too much here. But across portions of Interstate 10. We have 33 minutes to go here, so basically until 8:15 Eastern. So that is kind of what we are expecting. Now, it does look like that we could be seeing a little bit of hail here just off of Interstate 10. Not exactly sure what mile markers this is, but you can obviously tell here where the pinks and the blues are. That's obviously showing that radar is picking up some bigger objects up in the atmosphere. So for the most part, obviously, obviously that is a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect here. Not the big polygon. We'll go ahead and remove the special weather statement here. It's this little polygon that is the severe warning here. For 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, so the winds could gust up to 60. Not constantly blowing at 60, but what they could get up to, maybe up to 60 miles per hour, as well as quarter-size hail could exist. So that is exactly what we are looking at as of right now. So like I said, my friends, just please be safe there as of right now. I mean, we're only dealing with 3 severe thunderstorm warnings. We actually have another one here. You can see here there's actually been some hail that's been reported, but below or sub-severe hail, basically in half-inch size and 3/10 of an inch. Relatively small hail has fallen here. Really on the far northeastern side here of Colorado or California, not Colorado. Trust me, I do know the differences. I don't know why I just picked the first C name state that came to mind. But regardless, anyways, so this is actually for less than 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts and obviously quarter-size hail. The reason that this is a severe warned storm is because of the hail potential that could get up to quarter size or an inch in diameter. So like I said, not really too worried about the storm. It would just be recommended just to stay inside, but other than that, you should relatively be okay. That's kind of actively what we are talking about. And like I said, the majority of the biggest event here for today was across, the Minnesota region. And like I said, I mean, honestly, this is kind of underperforming. This is really kind of underperforming. Like I said, than what we actually forecasted here. What was actually forecasted and what was showing up in the models and stuff like that is actually under, what we were expecting. But like I said, the severe weather is likely going to, kick off here. Obviously things are increasing still here. And yeah, I still do believe that we are going to still see some severe weather being possible here across the region. It's just very, very late to the show. So we might not see as many hours of severe weather as we were once expecting here. But regardless, like I said, we got to watch out for possible severe weather across these locations here for today. This does include portions of Nebraska, Iowa, portions here as well across Minnesota, as well as portions here of obviously Wisconsin as well. So that is kind of actively what we are talking about here as of right now. So like I said, guys, thank you so much. Like I said, obviously, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us for today. Thank you all for being a part of the live stream. You guys absolutely rock. Appreciate all of your supports, guys. And like I said, the reason I don't expect this thing to get as crazy either is because, like I said, we did have a mesoscale discussion. If you guys don't know what that is, it's basically just a watch before the watch. It's a Storm Prediction Center. They say, hey, we're going to consider a watch across a specific location. And in this case, there was actually a mesoscale discussion that was in effect here a while back. If you go ahead and take a look here back at the time, I don't think it'll pull up anymore. But regardless, there was this mesoscale discussion that was in effect kind of across these locations here. You guys probably saw it earlier in the live stream. Like I said, there was a mesoscale discussion that was considering a watch being issued for this location, but they just canceled that mesoscale discussion. So now they're basically saying, we don't think a watch is really necessary, which is obviously some great news. And obviously, like I said, it's underperforming than what we thought it would be by now, which is obviously some good news. But like I said, I'm not gonna jinx it. I'm gonna knock on wood here. So obviously, like I said, obviously as of right now, As of right now, things are relatively okay, but it does look like I said, we are starting to see a little bit more action, a little bit more cells trying to fire off here across portions of southern Minnesota, as well as cross portion here of Iowa as well. So obviously, we got to continue watching this. Like I said, obviously the environment theoretically is still more stable. Or favorable, I should say. I wouldn't say really stable. I'd say more favorable. It's more unstable than anything. But it's definitely favorable of producing severe weather here. Like I said, here's our mesoscale analysis. You can obviously tell a lot of our strongest winds are actually located here in Iowa, between the surface and up to 3 kilometers here, which is actually relatively relatively decent. Obviously, I kind of expect maybe a little bit more severe action could happen towards Iowa, maybe push down a little bit more further south. According to that, like I said, basically we count winds as like the engine in a vehicle. So obviously, for an engine to run, you need fuel, and that's where we take in instability, and that being our mixed layer CAPE, convective available potential energy. Basically, just potential energy, as you've probably heard sometime in your life. If something has potential energy, and it's a loaded gun, basically. So, but like I said, so basically you can follow the wind barbs here. This is right where the cold front is located. Lots and lots of warm air drawing its way up here into the Midwest. Obviously, quite warm there for today. Obviously, we have ourselves the winds on the backside from the north, kind of pushing down to the south-southeast, which is basically supplying the back end of the cold front with that cold air that's necessary. So obviously, that warm interaction, that interaction between the warm and moisture-filled air, and obviously the cooler, drier air that we are actively seeing right now, is creating that instability field right here across portions of Minnesota as well as portions of Iowa. So obviously that's where the instability comes in. And like I said, the strongest winds or the strongest engine for this storm here is actually relatively located right here across portions of Iowa. So this right here, if you mix in where the heaviest winds are versus where all the wind shear or where all the instability is, honestly, I would even say on the far western side of Iowa, there could be some pretty decent weather here, at least according to the latest observations here. My program's about to cut out here, so let's go ahead and refix this. We're going to have to relaunch it again. But like I said, honestly, I do expect there to be favorable conditions for severe weather in portions of Nebraska still. We are seeing a lot of energy. I mean, way more than enough fuel that's required for severe storms to kick off. Really across portions of western Iowa into southeastern Nebraska. But here there is kind of a problem though, is that the winds are weaker across portions of southwestern Nebraska. So honestly, to be honest with you guys, I'm actually quite concerned about possibly more severe weather happening here in Iowa versus rather Minnesota. I would say it definitely has a higher probability, a higher potential of actually doing so. So. But we'll see. Like I said, obviously the Storm Prediction Center has us saying differently with the severe weather expected a little bit more altered to the north here, with damaging winds being a little bit more of a concern here. But like I said, my friends, obviously this is something that we still got to continue watching here. A lot of the downdraft energy is also located relatively across. This is basically for damaging wind potential. The highest potential is honestly a little bit more further south than I would have thought, at least according to the outlook area. So, but that's kind of personally what I think. That's kind of personally what I think is going to happen with this. Is I do think that, severe weather is not ruled out yet. I would definitely say it's still possible. But like I said, if it was me, I would actually extend the severe risk a little bit more further down to the south for areas such as I roughly circled here with that 2 out of 5 severe threat. Just because, like I said, there's a lot more instability down here. There's a little bit more wind shear as well, which if you combat those together, if you mix those two together, then obviously that could give you some pretty decent potential here. Let's see. Megan says, have a good night, Andrew. I'm not feeling so good. Well, Megan, feel better. Thank you so much for joining us. And obviously, thank you for being here. And obviously, yeah, feel better, Megan. I will be praying for you. Let's see. Grace says, do I know when Brooklyn Park, Minnesota will see the storm? So here's the thing. Like I said, it's relatively aligned. I got to figure out where Brooklyn Park is actually located here. It's actually a good question on where Brooklyn Park is. Which side is Brooklyn Park on here? Let's go ahead and switch on back here to my actual main screen here. Here's actually the main view. Like I said, we're actually having a pretty decent storm to sort of fire off here across southern Minnesota here as well. But like I said, I mean, if it was up to me, honestly, I would have tracked this, this risk here a little bit more further down to the south. The slight risk here, like I said, obviously because one, there's a lot more instability, a lot more fuel that's needed for thunderstorms to fire off here, and two, obviously there's a little bit more winds, a little bit more wind shear, but that is kind of what we are talking about. So, but like I said, my friends, that is actively, what we are seeing here at the moment, and like I said, we are definitely going to definitely keep our eyes out here for it right now. So, but yeah, like I said, my friends, just please be safe out there, and we're going to be here for you guys. And like I said, we are expecting the storms to relatively get near Minneapolis region. Like I said, as of right now, honestly, there's really nothing happening at Minneapolis. I mean, actually, now that I zoom into it, there's actually a little bit of a cell on the far northwestern side, but far from severe. Like I said, right now, especially if you want to take a look here towards St. Paul, we do have a camera here in St. Paul, in which if you go ahead and switch on back here to my other screen, you guys can actually see a live camera view. So you can actually tell, I mean, obviously, yeah, there is no stormy conditions here in St. Paul. It's kind of hard to see the sky because it's quite bright, probably due to the sunset getting ready to occur. But here's the thing, like I said, obviously we have that one cell that is indeed over here in Minneapolis, like I said, right here in the far northwestern quadrant. But like I said, really not a big storm here, nothing not really concerned about. But yeah, you can actually see here, at least over the last several minutes, there actually has been a lot more action starting to kind of pick up here. So that one severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect here for Virginia is now canceled. So that's definitely some good news from what it looks like here. It's just definitely great news. We still have two severe thunderstorm warnings in effect here, one directly east of Redding here in northeastern California for less than 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts and actually quarter-size hail. So a possibility we could see some hail up to the size of a quarter or 1 inch in diameter is possible out of that storm. Just stay indoors and you should be okay. We have ourselves another severe thunderstorm warning in effect here across portions of northeastern New Mexico, directly northeast of Albuquerque. I say at least 100 miles or so for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So winds could get up to 60, as well as obviously quarter-size hail yet again being a possibility. And we have another storm here across portions of the south for the same criteria, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail between basically west of Benson, east of Green Valley, and southeast here of Tucson. So that is kind of actively what we are talking about. And then you might notice the tropics here, we got ourselves two different systems here. We have Frank, which is right here, and we have ourselves Georgette, which is right here. Georgette's kind of stalling out, just kind of doing the wiggle here. Not really any concerns. Now, here's the thing about Frank is, like I said, right now, Frank is on a weakening trend, and it will continue to as it tracks more into the cooler waters up north. But here's the thing, though. What's going to happen is that on the latest forecast trends, we actually start to see the storm move its way more towards California. Now, like I said, this is nothing to worry about. One, like I said, it's going to be a lot weaker than it is now. It's not supposed to be a hurricane by the time it gets there. But like I said, this could actually deliver maybe a little bit more rain in the extended range. We'll see what happens with it. It's going to need additional monitoring over the next few days. But like I said, it could eventually do so, as all the tracks, or a lot of the tracks, are starting to lean in forward in favor towards more of a closer encounter of California compared to what we were seeing in earlier runs, basically. So, it's just something to watch out for. It's something to keep our eyes open for, and just to see what it's going to do. Very, very active season here in the Eastern Pacific so far this year. Been very, very scarily kind of quiet here in the Atlantic, but like I said, once we move into August and especially September, those chances of having hurricanes are going to skyrocket. We are indeed in hurricane season right now, but we are far from the worst of hurricane season. We are going to be getting into that in towards September. So if any hurricane decides it wants to make landfall, we're going to be there to cover it for you guys, as we do with every severe weather event and stuff like that. We got you guys. And obviously, like I said, guys, just thank you all for being here. Thank you all for hanging out with us here for today. And but yeah. So like I said, we are starting to see a lot more of those storms starting to fire off here across portions of Minnesota, as well as across portions here of Iowa as well. So that is kind of actively what we are watching here. And like I said, in regard to the latest observations, the latest meso analysis, we're actually seeing ourselves a bit more instability, a little bit more down to the south here. We can actually probably pull up meso analysis here. Let's go ahead and turn on the instability here. You can actually see that the more that we move down towards the south, how we have a lot more of the instability now. If we take a look here where the storms are at now, I mean, we're talking near, 1,700 to near 2,000 joules per kilogram. That is way more than enough instability that's needed. But look at this. Look at how much more energy that there is across portions of Iowa into Nebraska. Now we're talking literally nearly at least another half times that. We're talking nearly, 3,600, almost nearly 3,700 here across portions of Nebraska. So obviously, in my opinion, I think that we should have put that risk down a little bit more further to the south here, because of obvious reasons here. Obviously, with the winds here as well, if we take a look here at the winds here, towards portions of the atmosphere, you can actually see how they do increase across portions here of Iowa, on the far western side. And if we take a look here at the actual meso-analysis here, you can actually tell that basically the winds does increase as we go down more further to the south here. Here's surface a 3-kilometer wind shear. You can obviously start to tell here. Okay, there we go. There's surface 3-kilometer wind shear. You can actually see how a lot more of the stronger winds is actually a little bit more further south. Now, like I said, the winds acts as an engine, as a car would. So basically, the engine, that's basically where all the main stuff happens at. And so basically, like I said, this is basically the engine of the storm is the winds. And then you have the instability, which is the interaction between the cold, dry air and the warm, moisture-filled air. So the warm air is coming up from the south. So in this case, all of this warm air is being pulled up like this, and the cold air is being backed out like this. So obviously the interaction point is where a lot of the instability is. And so obviously that's where the cold front is and where these storms are actually firing off on. So obviously, like I said, for the most part, I'm starting to see increasing support and possibility of more severe storms, maybe a little bit more further south. Because if we do take a look here at the current radar here, we can actually start to see that there is indeed a little bit of action that is starting to kind of play out here. Let's go ahead and switch to Des Moines radar here in central Iowa. We'll go and see what this has to say here. So you can obviously see that in the latest scans here, in the latest runs, we can actually start to see that we are looking at a little bit more cell development, in which, honestly, this could turn into something here relatively soon. But that is actively what we are looking at here, my friends. So, but like I said, just please be safe out there. And like I said, if you have any questions, you guys, please put them down in the chat here. We got you all covered. We want you guys to be safe. We want you to be prepared. That's what we're here for. That's the reason I'm live streaming, is to make sure that you guys are prepared and ready for these storms here. So like I said, they did consider issuing a watch, but they pulled back on it. We aren't expecting a watch here anytime soon. As of now, there is no mesoscale discussion here in regard to, that's what they do. They issue a discussion before they issue the watch here. But like I said, so that is kind of what we are looking at. Karen says, hi, Andrew. What's up, Karen? Hope you're doing all right. Still very dry and hot here in central Texas. However, this morning, as I went to church, air felt different, cooler. Hope that means a shift in the weather. So ready for fall. I agree with you. I'm actually ready for wintertime, too. I'm ready for the snow. Not going to lie, personally. I know there's people that would probably agree and disagree with me. But over the last few years, I really have not had that much good snow recently. So I'm hoping for a good snow this year. Personally, I would love to see that. And so obviously, that's what I'm hoping for. But anyways, thank you for joining us here, Karen. Hope you're doing all right, my friend. And obviously, I hope you're staying safe as well. But like I said, so yeah, we are starting to see ourselves, obviously, here towards Storm Lake. obviously, I mean, it's probably called Storm Lake here for a reason. We have ourselves a storm that's starting to fire off here just southeast of Storm Lake, heading right towards portions of Rockwell City. Just give it a little bit of time, and if it continues on its track, if it continues on its trajectory, eventually be moving towards the region there. But like I said, so that is kind of what is kicking off here right now on the latest scan here. Like I said, obviously right now we only have, we have actually ourselves now a new severe thunderstorm warning is being issued for southern Arizona for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, quarter-size hail, right here between portions of Interstate 10 and portions here of Interstate 19. Basically north, south, east, and west here. You can kind of see right, left to the left of Tucson and to the right of Tucson, and right here towards 3 points. That's where we have ourselves a few severe thunderstorm warnings in effect here for both being 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and the winds are expected to possibly get up to 60, maybe gusting to 60. Could be possible. Obviously, also as well, quarter-size hail, so hail the size of a quarter, could exist as well. So definitely watch out for not only the possibility of some damaging winds or some gusty winds, but also expect the possibility of maybe even some hail. That could be a concern here as well. But that is kind of what we are looking at here as of right now. We were seeing a pretty active amount of storm activity that was going on here in North Carolina. There is still a bit of storms that is currently happening here, as you can obviously tell. But a lot of them are not severe. Actually, all of them are not severe here in North Carolina. There's no active severe storms. However, directly south here of Greensboro, we have a pretty strong storm getting ready to impact portions of Interstate 73 between portions of Troy and Randleman. Obviously, for areas here of Seagrove and Ashboro, should probably be bracing for the storm as it does make its way across the interstate system. Expect some delays of traffic. Obviously, expect some travel disruptions to possibly occur due to reduced visibility, because it does look like we are seeing ourselves a decent amount of heavy rain that is currently going on here. So once again, this is directly south of Greensboro, areas of Randleman, portions of Ashboro, as well as Seagrove. And basically just pretty much anything further north of Troy, that is kind of what we are seeing. So Interstate 73 is likely going to start getting some impacts out of that. Towards Raleigh, we have ourselves another cluster of 2 cells here, actually. You can kind of see towards Holly Springs and portions west of Garner. Now, this is actually 2 individual cells. You can see one right here and another one right here. But anyways, so like I said, these are not severe as well. These are not severe, but like I said, obviously, we should still continue watching some of these storms because they could go severe at any moment. That's the thing about today, is we do have a severe risk here in the dark green that's saying, hey, severe storms could be possible here for today. And like I said, the yellow is actually an increased threat in severity, where we are expecting maybe even more possible severe weather here across Minneapolis for today. And as we can currently see, we can start to see now where the cold front is. If you look very, very closely, you can kind of see where this is starting to kind of fire off at. If we go ahead and draw our line, you can actually see right around in here, that's where the cold front's at. We have all this colder or cooler air backing in from the north here, mixing in with a lot of the warm and moisture-filled air we have been advecting north from the south. So this is all that warm and moisture-filled Gulf of Mexico air that's pushing up from the Gulf up into the upper portions here of the country. So obviously it's a bit more warmer, a bit more moisture filled, and on the backside where it's cooler and a bit more drier. So obviously 2 total polar opposites interacting with each other to create the fuel that's necessary for storms to fire off. In this case, instability. Stability conditions would be stable, which is normal, but unstable conditions is what causes storms here. We have an unstable atmosphere currently across portions of Minnesota. So, and like I said, you can obviously tell that because of the amount of storms that's currently firing off here. So we're going to keep our eyes open for this. It does look like we are starting to see ourselves, like I said, the storm currently tracking through directly north of St. Paul. We actually do have a live camera on St. Paul, but if you take a look here, yeah, there's really nothing happening here on the screen. Like I said, sunset is getting ready to happen here. So obviously the sky is very, very bright. I think this is pointing west, if I'm not mistaken. But regardless, like I said, I mean, obviously, the storm is literally directly just north here of St. Paul. Once again, this is not severe. This is not a severe storm regardless. But like I said, we just got to keep our eyes open for these over the next little bit here. As of right now, the only severe warned storms we do have is across portions of southern Arizona. Like I said, between portions of Green Valley, 3 points, basically just east of Tuscan. Now, Green Valley specifically is not under a severe warning, but like I said, basically just west and basically east as well. There's 2 actually different warnings. They just now significantly upgraded this warning here in southern Arizona here. Look at this. This is actually now a severe thunderstorm warning for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So now we're actually talking potential hurricane force winds out of this storm, and also hail the size of ping pong balls. So obviously ping pong ball size hail is a big concern. Just a 1/4 of an inch smaller than this golf ball I have here. So a little bit more smaller than the golf ball, but still, I mean, if you talk hail about this size, nearly this size, flying at 70 miles per hour, you got yourself some problems. So in this case, you need to get to your shelter. In this case, be far away from windows. If you have a basement or a storm cellar, get to it now. This is actually a very, very disgusting, pretty nasty storm here. Like I said, obviously right here towards 3 points. Now, the worst of it, we can probably tell, is right here where the pinks and blues are. This is actually where the radar is saying, hey, I'm detecting some bigger objects up in the sky. That's what the different colors mean. That's what the more brighter, more violent looking colors mean, is because we are seeing ourselves a lot more, basically, we're seeing ourselves a lot more bigger objects. In this case, big old ice crystals being hail up to the size of ping pong balls being possible. And like I said, you mix those with those damaging wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. Like I said, not constant winds of 70, but what the winds could get up to at one given point. Could get up to 70 miles per hour. So that's obviously kind of a big deal. Obviously something that we have really got to continue watching here over the next little bit. So, but like I said, guys, please be safe out there for a while. And like I said, we're going to continue watching this, guys. I was going to head off here at 8, but I don't think we're going to do so now because, like I said, honestly, we're starting to now see a bit more action. A bit of stuff is now starting to kind of play off here. Obviously, a lot more multicellular, a lot more, more cell growth is actually occurring here, as we can obviously tell. So we got to definitely watch this here for the next little bit. This is definitely a pretty interesting system we are watching, and like I said, we can obviously tell here if we switch to the Des Moines region here in central Iowa, we have ourselves a bit of discrete action kicking off here, a bit of individual cells that is actually really starting to fire off here. Like I said, basically just west here of Algona, as well as portions here of Sac City. So we have two different cells that is really starting to fire off here, and like I said, give it a bit of time, and these things could potentially go severe, because like I was saying, as we were looking at the current conditions here in the atmosphere, we have a lot more winds, a lot more wind energy, which is basically acting as the engine for these storms, a lot more stronger winds in the areas here of Iowa versus what's actually forecasted here in Minnesota. So honestly, if it was me, if it was up to me, I would actually extend the risk here a little bit more further down to the south, across portions of the western and north central sides here of Iowa. Because obviously you can see here, like I said, there's a lot more winds here according to the surface, the 3-kilometer winds. So that's from the surface to up to 3 kilometers in the air. Obviously here as well, we have a lot of instability as well. This is basically the fuel that's needed for an engine to run. In this case, like I said, this is the instability, the interaction between that cold, warm air in the front and the cold, cool air, or the cold, dry air in the back. Those two interacting creates this instability. And obviously we have a lot of it, even a lot more instability right where those winds were, obviously a little bit more than we have actually here in Minnesota. So the current conditions is actually not keeping up to what is actually going on here in the outlook. So honestly, I do expect possibility of some more, maybe some more aggressive storms that could fire a little bit more further south than what we thought. Because like I said, right now, we're just now really starting to see some of these storms starting to kind of fire off here across portions of Iowa. So we have initiation. This is what we call initiation, basically the beginning of the storms. This is basically that beginning of the cold front. We can actually see where the cold front is, obviously, by this line of storms. We switch on back here to Minneapolis here, and we grab our pen. You can actually see how the cold front kind of extends around here. We obviously have a few more storms that's firing off here behind the cold front, which is not unheard of. It's not as common, but it's a possibility. So obviously watch out for that. Let's see here. Spike says, what's going on, pal? Not much. Glad to have you here, my friend. Also want to know, let's see here. Green Bay, Wisconsin. We'll get smashed by storms. Now, here's the thing. If we take a look here at Green Bay, here on the eastern side, we're not expecting any severe storms here for today. We're actually looking relatively okay. We're not expecting any severe weather to occur for you for today. Tomorrow, same thing. Not expecting anything. My friend, you're looking all right. You're looking like you're not supposed to see anything. Will wants to know anything for Indianapolis, Indiana. So if we take a look here at Indianapolis, we can actually see for today, no severe weather is expected. Tomorrow, though, possibility of some storms. We have the biggest threat here for severe weather across portions of central and southern Iowa. Or sorry, Ohio, not Iowa. For some reason, I mixed that up. So basically between Ohio, central southern portion, as well as the pretty central and northern portion of Kentucky and southeastern Indiana here. Now, like you said, Indianapolis, there is still a severe risk here for the Indianapolis region. So obviously watch out for a possibility of some few severe storms here for tomorrow. Here's the thing, though. We got some good news. Tornadoes not a concern for tomorrow across Indianapolis. Hail either. The only reason we're in the severity is because of the damaging wind potential. We could expect maybe a few gusty winds and maybe a few damaging winds could theoretically occur out of these storms here. So definitely just, we'll keep on watching it, and we'll see how this does play out. But like I said, my friends, thank you all for joining us here for today. And like I said, y'all, just please be safe out there in regard to the severe weather for today and tomorrow. Because like I said, it's going to continue for the next few days. We are expecting this to occur. So, but like I said, storms are now finally starting to kind of fire off here. They're not severe yet. There's really no severe action that's ongoing here. We can obviously start to see that there is a few storms that starting to, kind of breach into western Wisconsin here towards Frederick, actually directly north of New Richmond. Obviously, we can start to see that that's starting to become the case here. And storms firing all the way down farther south here towards, the Des Moines area here. But that's kind of what we are watching here. Directly northwest of Des Moines, you can actually see there. That is what is ongoing. Now, if we take a look here towards Nebraska, let's switch to Omaha, Nebraska. See if there's anything happening here yet. It does not appear so. So it does look like that there's nothing. It's still kind of quiet here across Nebraska. Obviously, that severe weather risk does extend where the dark green is into obviously areas here of Nebraska. But for the most part, relatively quiet as of right now, which is obviously some great news. But like I said, areas here in Minneapolis, or not just Minneapolis, but obviously areas here in Minnesota and Iowa should definitely continue to keep a close eye on this. So, but like I said, we are starting to see some action that is starting to fire off here across a lot of these locations. So we're just going to keep our eye on it. Like I said, there's obviously a lot of instability that is at play here. Like I said, there's a little bit more energy further south than was actually forecasted here. There's actually a little bit more instability that's in effect here across, pretty much across these regions here. Relatively west of the Des Moines region, areas of Fort Dodge, kind of near there. Instability, basically overall storm energy is a bit more higher than was actually forecasted. Like I said, if it was me, if it was up to my decision, I would actually, like I said, obviously I would actually increase this, or I'd actually drag down this threat here a little bit more to the south, including portions of Iowa. If that's my personal, discussion. Because like I said, if we take a look here back at the main screen here, the meso analysis, here's current conditions here. You can see we have a little bit more instability here compared to what we have here in Minnesota. Like I said, if we grab a little view here, we have about 2,100 joules per kilogram of energy. So basically the value here is at 2,100, which, trust me, is definitely enough to produce some severe weather. Anything really over 1,000 is good enough to produce severe weather. You can have severe weather as low as 500. I've seen it before. But anyways, we're seeing 2,000, 4 times that, which is still a lot of instability. So don't let that fool you. But down here towards Iowa, you can see now we're breaking the 3,000 mark. So obviously we have a little bit more instability here, about 1,000 joules per kilogram, a little bit more. So that's obviously more energy in the atmosphere. And here's the fun part, or here's the crazy part too. If we take a look here at the overall, the engine here, like I said, the winds here, the overall strong winds, we can actually see how they're isolated over Iowa as well. We actually have a little bit more stronger wind action from the surface, obviously up until the 3-kilometer mark. So obviously winds are a bit more stronger here towards, basically towards the Iowa region. So like I said, that's probably why, I am saying that we should probably, consider extending the risk here more further south, but obviously I have no word in that compared to the actual Storm Prediction Center. But if it was up to me, compared to what I've seen over the years and what I've studied over the years, that is what I would look at here. Obviously, I obviously do see higher potential here in Iowa. Obviously, like I said, I'm not saying that severe weather won't happen across Minnesota, which honestly I still believe is a big possibility. But I'm just saying that they should probably extend that further down to the south just a little bit. Like I said, at any time, these little cells that we see down here, they might look small right now and harmless. But like I said, with a little bit of time, they can obviously become very, very aggressive. So we got to watch out for that here closely. But yeah, so that is kind of actively what we are watching here. Christian wants to know, let's see here. What am I doing a live weather tomorrow? Yeah, I'm going to be live here tomorrow, that's for sure. Let's see here. Eagle says, what's the high lightning at the end of the radar represent? So, at the end of the radar, what are you talking about? The high lightning? I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't see any lightning here. You talking about the brighter colors here, like this? If so, that's actually, probably some heavier rain, maybe some hail being mixed in. I don't know what you're talking about. You got to be a little bit more specific than that. But yeah, so like I said, that's kind of, what's going on at the moment. So we're just going to sit back here. We're just going to keep on watching this, and we're going to see what happens. We actually have 5 severe thunderstorm warnings now. Let's go and take a look and see what we have going on here. I knew we had 2. Now we have 3 down here to the south. Yeah, look at these guys. These are actually pretty nasty storms here. So, for areas here, basically west of Interstate 10, it's directly west here of Tuscan, I think is how I pronounce that, towards the 3 Points region, we actually have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for areas here of Tuscan Estates, as well as 3 Points here. So that is kind of what we are talking about. So like I said, so that is actively, what we are seeing here. So obviously, wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. So basically, we can expect some wind gusts to get up to 70, which that's kind of clocking in towards hurricane force winds. I'm not going to lie with you guys. That's getting pretty nasty. So I'd recommend that you go into the interior portion of your home for even the winds that's associated with this storm here. Because like I said, 70 mile per hour winds is not something you want to mess with. Because anything that's loose outside could obviously go airborne and it could plow straight through windows and stuff like that. So it's definitely not a safe place to be at. So stay away from windows if you possibly can, because that is kind of what we are talking about. So obviously, like I said, 70 mile per hour wind gusts, and there is unfortunately more bad news, is we could expect some large hail, maybe up to the size of ping pong balls, could be a possibility, which is actually definitely kind of sucky. So like I said, obviously this is a golf ball, so about 1/4 of an inch smaller than this golf ball. You guys probably know what a ping pong ball looks like, full of solid ice, potentially could be moving at 70 miles per hour. So obviously that's at worst case scenario. So obviously, guys, please be safe out there. Like I said, that's a pretty significant storm that we are actively seeing here. But like I said, my friends, they did have a mesoscale discussion. If you don't know what that is, it's basically just a discussion saying, hey, do we need a severe thunderstorm watch or anything? They did issue one, but then they got rid of it. They got rid of the mesoscale discussion, so I don't think they're going to be concerning a watch here. So honestly, my friends, I think that we're going to be relatively okay for today. I think we're going to go ahead and head off here for tonight. Like I said, I was planning on staying until 8 o'clock, but we actually pushed a little bit further into 8:15. So, but like I said, the areas we just talked about here, obviously across portions of the dark green and the yellow. I mean, I'm definitely happy we were able to be live as much as we did. We've been live here for over 3 hours here, so it's definitely good. So I just want to go ahead and say thank you all for joining us here for today. But yeah, so I think that's going to go ahead and do it. I think that's going to go ahead and end the coverage here for today. Like I said, for tomorrow's severe weather, the risk is going to shift more southeast. Okay, so the biggest concern for tomorrow is across Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio. So like I said, we're probably going to be live here tomorrow as well. I know we will. Not sure what time yet, but keep an eye on the channel. Keep on checking the channel here tonight, because eventually we'll be posting that and stuff like that. But anyways, y'all, thank you guys for joining us here for today. If you guys did enjoy it, consider leaving a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new, guys. We greatly appreciate it. The more subscribers we get, the more that the YouTube algorithm will, obviously be better in our favor, and the more people we can reach out to, the more potential lives we can save here. So it'd be greatly appreciated, guys, if you guys could smash that subscribe button, as well as leave a like. It'd be greatly appreciated, guys. Not just for you, but for the other people as well, because like I said, the more subscribers YouTube sees us get, obviously the more potential people we could reach out to, and more potential lives we could save. So obviously that's good in the end. If you guys do want to support the channel and help us, with radar equipment and stuff like that we pay for the channel, if you see a little dollar sign there by the chat, you guys can check that out. If you want to donate to the channel, you don't have to. Just you guys being here is way more than enough here. So just thank you for hanging out with us. Obviously, we have ourselves our links in the description, our PayPal only link. So we have two different donation systems. We have the obviously, we have ourselves our PayPal donation link in the description, obviously, and then the YouTube one with the little dollar sign thing. And we also have our merch here. You guys can check out the cool shirt I'm wearing, the NWW16 Polo. Bunch of other cool stuff, water bottles, whatever. There's a whole bunch of cool stuff. You guys should just check it out for yourself. We got some pretty cool stuff there. Also, if you guys do want to become a member, we have members-only live streams we usually do here. We do personal forecasts for people. So if you guys would like to have a personal forecast by us specifically, then you guys should definitely check that out. But anyways, y'all, thank you guys for hanging out with us here for today. Like I said, I'm definitely glad I was able to give you guys some coverage for today. We were live for just over 3 hours, which is definitely some good news here. We're kind of clocking in towards 3 hours and 20 minutes now, so I think that's a good way to end it. I've been talking for a while recently, but anyways, thank you all for joining us. Let's go ahead and see here. Let's see here. We got ourselves, Eagle says, peace, good stream. Thank you so much, Eagle. Greatly appreciated. Hype says, lightly raining for me in Philadelphia. Well, stay safe there. Like I said, for the most part, you should be fine, though. Let's see. Karen says, good night, Andrew. Have a wonderful night. You as well, Karen. Thank you for joining us. Greatly, greatly appreciated, my friend. Hype says, goodbye, Andrew. Have a nice rest of your night. You too, Hype. Thank you for joining us. But anyways, guys, that's going to go ahead and do it for today's live stream. Thank you all for joining us here for today. Hope to see you guys tomorrow. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Like I said, guys, leave a like if you guys did enjoy the live stream here for today. And like I said, turn on post notifications if you guys do want to get notified when we do go live from the possibility of some severe weather near you here in the States, because we cover every single location here in the United States. But y'all, thank you for joining us here for today. Cody says peace. See you later, Cody. Thank you for joining us here once again. All of you guys, thank you for being here. Appreciate the support. You guys absolutely rock. So we're going to go ahead and head off here for today. Hope to see you guys tomorrow. Peace out, guys. Catch you tomorrow.
Broadcasts originate at the National Weather Service office in La Crosse, Wisconsin. The current time is 7:19 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 7 p.m. at La Crosse, it was fair. The temperature was 82 degrees, the dew point 66, and the relative humidity 58%. The wind was south at 10 miles an hour. The pressure was 29.84 inches and falling. In Winona, it was cloudy. The temperature was 79 degrees, the dew point 68, and the relative humidity 69%. The wind was south at 3 miles an hour. The pressure was 29.82 inches and falling. Across the tri-state area, it was mostly sunny, with a temperature of 77 at Viroqua, 81 at Eau Claire, and 81 at Prairie